Nick family. Welcome to my channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, a member of the NBK Network. My name is Stephanie, Queen, Ms. BK, any one of those work for me. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live. You can also find me on Nothing But Knicks. Shout out to Simeon Russell, forever grateful. I host the Queen's Court on Monday nights. And I also do the crossover with Tony Crowe on Wednesday night. So that's actually tomorrow. So you can find me on Nothing But Knicks. Tonight, we're talking Jalen Brunson. This is what we know about Brunson. He won a high school state championship while playing in the state of Illinois. He won 2 national championships at Villanova. He was a second-round draft pick of the Dallas Mavericks and worked his way into the rotation. Then he became a starter. And then $100 million. He earned $100 million contract. Or I say earned. Many will say that it was given to him. We shall see. Now he's going to be a full-time point guard for the New York Knicks with a fan base that's passionate about their team, but will also turn on you in a New York minute. So should we take for granted that because he's been successful in high school and in college and his last few seasons in the NBA, that he will automatically be successful in New York City? This is a different type of city, a different type of team, a different fan base. As Ron Cleveland would say, let's talk about it. Miss you, Ron Cleveland. I'm joined today by Staf Dawn, the bowling chick. Last but not least, I am Jarrell. How you guys and gals doing?
I'm good, man.
Doing
just
well.
taking it easy.
Salute to everybody.
Salute to the chat. Salute to the Queen. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, salute,
Thanks for having me.
The chat. Sherwin, Keith Turner, Geraldine, JJ, Kyleo Smalling. Hey, Steph. I was about to say this is my first. Hey, Steph. How you doing? Still Nick fans. Angel Torres. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Harlem Girl. You as well. King Ribby. All right. So let's talk about Brunson. I'm pretty sure before the show is over, we'll talk about Donovan Mitchell. I just felt like we've covered every angle. All right, let's start talking about somebody who's actually on the team.
Yes.
Right? And let me see if I can pull my notes back here. All right. So I guess the question, let's start out with something easy. What are your expectations for Brunson next season and for the length of his contract? Like, what are you looking to see from him? Staffer, and then we'll come around.
I'm looking for leadership. I'm looking for toughness. I'm looking for for him to be the floor general on the floor. Make sure he put every guy in his spots. Elevate the team as far as like Randall, RJ, Mitch. I think those are the core guys that we really want to see them step up some more, because we've been wanting a bona fide point guard. So I think we got him now. I think those 3 guys, in my opinion, they're going to elevate their game. So I think Brunson is going to have a great impact on this team overall.
Okay. Jarrell?
Well, I think Jalen Brunson's a dog. I really, really like his game. I've been watching him since he was in college. Like I said before, I'm a Tar Heel fan, so his team actually beat us in the championship game. So I actually know a lot about Jalen Brunson and been seeing him for a while. I agree with everything Stafford said. I think he's going to be a leader, a real point guard. When it comes to accolades, maybe I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star, but at least on that track, maybe get a couple years under the system. I really think he's going to be good.
Okay, the bowling check.
So definitely ditto what they said, but I think the key with him is we're gonna have a steady hand in the fourth quarter. Someone to help us close games. We lost so many games and lost so many leads just because we didn't have someone to help us close those games out. Basically, not replicate everything Derrick Rose did a couple of years ago, but something like that. We just need that to help get Julius a little bit in line, when he's acting out. We'll put it like that. And kind of keep RJ in line as well. And I think that our young guys can look up to a Jalen Brunson just due to the worker that he is. So I think that leadership and that dog mentality is definitely something we can look forward to him bringing to our team.
And what I'm hearing from the panel is nobody said they're expecting Brunson to come in. Nobody mentioned scoring average. Nobody mentioned assists. Nobody mentioned. So it seems to me that we're all in agreement that he's not that. Don't get me wrong. He will score the ball, right? And he will play make. But is it that what you mentioned is what we need the most? Do you feel like that's basically who he is, and we shouldn't expect much scoring and playmaking on this particular team?
I think yes, that's what we need, but at the same time, we do need the scoring. We do need the play, just like Bowling Chick said. In the 4 quarters, we need that person to get us. I know he could get us a bucket in the 4th quarter, but at the same time, settle down the team in the 4th quarter and let and put everybody in their spots for us to get a bucket. So as far as playmaking, he's going to do that. And basically just be the leader that we need.
I think he's a prototypical point guard for Tibbs. Like, he likes to go to the basket. He actually might be our best post player if you actually look at his game. Like, he's a better post player than Julius Randle is right now. So, yeah, I think he'll be.
Wow.
Yeah, he is. But
I agree.
he definitely is. At least I think so. But yeah, in the 4th quarter, just like Staf said, like in the 4th quarter, he's going to be the man, leadership. He's going to score. He's going to dish. He's going to do a lot of things. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably our most efficient. He's our most efficient player, period.
Right.
At least at this point, if his percentages hold. But finishing at the rim, he might be our best player finishing at the rim.
Yep.
His footwork is rim. I mean, obviously he's not a king, but when you see his footwork when he get down there and how he's moving, I'm like, wow, and shaking people out and getting his shot off. So. Yeah, I mean, I think, and I've said this before, if the fans are looking for like a John Wall type of point guard or a Russell Westbrook type, like that scoring type of point guard, he can do that. Don't get me wrong, he can score, but that's not his mentality. I don't.
Right.
And the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, how many see him as a score first point guard? How many see him as somebody who's going to settle the team down? I think he's going to do a little bit of both. Honestly, I think there's going to be times when he's going to score, but I don't see him score first. I see him more initiating the offense and taking what comes to him. But Staffer, you might disagree. You see him as more of a score first?
Nah, I see him as trying to get the team in gear first. Either get Randall some points first or get RJ some points first. And I guess if one of those two guys ain't clicking, I guess he's gonna eventually take over that playmaking to score and initiate his game, and hopefully everything can fall in line for the rest of the players.
I think he's very underrated at scoring and playmaking. Because you got to think about who was his backcourt mate in the past couple years. So, like when you have Luka standing next to Luka, and we're talking about scoring and playmaking, those are Luka's, number one thing. So, I think he got overshadowed a lot.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Like he killed when Luka was not on the floor.
Exactly.
He played well off of Luka as well, but he was so much better when Luka wasn't on the floor. And just looking at his stats, I'm impressed. I had to go back and see what he did last year, just kind of as a refresher. I mean, seeing him average 50% field goal shooting, we haven't had that, since Julius' miracle year.
Right.
Right. And one thing I just wanted to bring up as well, statistically, I think this might be the most refreshing thing, is we're going to have a player in the 4th quarter who can make free throws, guys. This is a guy that can do it. He averaged 84%. Yeah. What a miracle. That's like 4 wins right there.
That's like 4 wins right there. Right.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Now, somebody said they see him scoring 28. I will say that when Luka was out, his scoring went up, but his assists went up. as well. And I see Sherwin saying that he's a he's a ISO player. Listen, I think that's the way Dallas offense was set up. I think that's the way it was set up. So when Luka went out, I don't think they changed much. The ball was just in his hand for him to pretty much, run similar sets to what they ran when Luka was in the game. I think on this team, I just don't see him being a totally ISO type
But
player.
but even if he was, we kind of play the same way like that too, depending on who has the ball. But that's that's a Tibbs thing.
Not the case.
Right, I know that's a Tibbs thing. Like that's something that we don't want to see again. But if you actually want to look at our offense last year, we played like that a lot last year.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes, Jarrell, I'm not sure if that's what Tibbs wanted. I think that Tibbs wants to play this read and react offense with players that just you got to have a certain high IQ to do that. Basically, even if you start with an ISO, you read the defense. The ball can move depending on what the defense does, but you have to have players that can process the game like that. And if you don't, it breaks down to just making one. It may be one pass before a shot, two passes before a shot, because you don't have guys that understand that type of offense or are disciplined enough to, this is a good shot, that's a better shot. Let me get into the key, draw you got to have certain type, and that's what I put on Tibbs. Like, you're going to run a read and react offense with these guys, with the ball in Randall's hand. You're going to do read and react, So, so the point I'm trying to make is read and react would look different with different type of players.
You're right. That's true.
So we shall see. I think do you think there's some fans who, I think if you're going to measure Brunson's success on his stats, his counting numbers, I think you're going to be disappointed. I think a lot of fans look at the $100 million and they're expecting somebody to come in and average 20 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. They don't really understand. They may not appreciate the intangibles as much. Right. So which camp are you in? Like, are you looking for specific numbers for him? Like, how would you know he's successful? How would you be able at the end of the season to say, wow, this was a successful season for Brunson?
For me, get us to the playoffs.
Yeah, for me, it's wins. Has nothing to do with
wins. Basically, that's all it ends. That's all it comes down to at the end of the day. Wins. As long as he could get us to where we need to be at to get to that next step, that's what it is.
And plus, like, as a fan base, right, we've been clamoring for a point guard for how long now? By now, we should know what a point guard is.
Right.
It's not just somebody with the ball in his hand to just score the ball. Like, we all know what a point guard is, and we've been looking for somebody like Jalen Brunson for a very long time now. Whether you like him, like, personally or specifically as his game, but the type of player that he is, that's the type of player we've been looking for.
Well, showing him.
Go ahead.
No, it's just what I just was saying. It was showing M said. He said that's all he want, but at the same time, you said Brunson is only going to give us 4 extra wins. You got to make sense, showing. You know what I mean? You got to make sense. But go ahead, Bowling Chick.
Yeah, but she said 4 wins just off free throws.
Free throws.
No, it wasn't you. I'm talking about showing M.
Yeah,
he said that Brunson is only going to give us 4 extra wins.
Yeah, total.
Total, right.
That's nah. I was just saying that was at least 4 wins last year that we would have had.
No. I understand your point. No, I wasn't talking about you. Go ahead.
I got you. What I was just going to say is I do agree with Staf's comment, though. There are fans that are going to look to Brunson and look at that contract and just let that be the only factor and say, well, he got $104 million or whatever he's getting. We had to pay market value for what might be the 15th highest paid point guard. To me, that doesn't matter. That's such a lazy argument. to your point earlier, Jarrell, I do think good point guard play is something that is visual. It's really hard to put statistically.
Right.
But looking to, I mean, the last few years, what we saw Peyton, play the point guard position and how he played it. We saw Derrick Rose when he was leading us to, some wins, even though he's coming off the second unit, he was closing games for us, right? And then we saw last year
some wins
when we had Kemba and Burks. So to me, now I'm not going to say it can't be worse than that, but it's already going to be better by default.
Right.
I'm going to say that first and foremost. But honestly, if you want to make it statistic driven, I would love to see the numbers he got last year. I don't expect that, just because there's only but so many balls that can go around, so many shots that can go around. A lot of us want RJ to continue to shoot as much as if Donovan's not on the team. I expect RJ to keep getting 20 shots a game or something similar to that. So Brunson's scoring is not going to be the same. I just don't see it. Even though Luka shot the ball more than Randall and RJ easily, right? But I think the other Dallas players, they just took the 4 or 5 shots they might get a game. It was obvious that it was Jalen Brunson right as the second option after Luka. Anyway, so my point is, I think his assists might be a bit higher. He averaged 5 last year. I think he can get more with this team, depending upon if we hit our shots.
That's
we'll
it.
see.
You get an assist if the person doesn't hit the shot. I don't care how we
I
the
was about
pass.
to say, Steph, can you put Ron's?
Yes, I was going to make a comment about that.
I was about to say that was a very, very good point. We need to talk about like the maturation of RJ going forward with Brunson.
Right. Now, this is what I will say though. Do we think RJ and Randall was inefficient because they weren't getting good shots, or they just weren't hitting the shots? Because if you think that it's because they weren't getting good shots, then I agree. Having somebody that's going to get you cleaner looks can help your efficiency.
Right.
But
I think it was a combination of both.
Randall, I just felt like they was just missing.
Right. Some of them were wide open.
That all of those shots was crowded, contested shots. So if it's about cleaner looks, Ron, I agree. I think their efficiency will get better, but I don't think all of their inefficiency was about that.
Right.
They just got to get better at hitting the shots that that they do get.
And Brunson isn't going to help anybody shoot better at the free throw line.
Exactly.
Our team as a whole
was
bad.
Good point.
That's not even just RJ. Like our team as a whole was a bad free throw shooting team. Brunson can't save
right.
It was.
Good point. Good point.
Like they need to get in the gym and just start shooting. Brunson can't save you when it comes to that. Unless he's on the line.
Right.
Tibbs got to get those guys, doing suicides when they miss these free throws, not literal guys with the basketball terms. We make sure I say that. Like old school,
You want them to hate Tibbs as much as they do.
Hey, I mean,
I'm pretty sure Tibbs got them running.
You got to do something, man. We can't. Last year was an abomination at the free throw line. So I can't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. Go ahead. You wanted to say something, Stafford?
No. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say the thing with Brunson, and I'm interested in you guys' opinion. Let me just mark this comment right here. I think Brunson would be better on a more talented team than an average talented team. I think if the team is average, he can elevate some. But you look at a team like Milwaukee, Boston. You put somebody like Brunson on that team, it just elevates them, in my opinion, even more. I don't.
Kind of like Drew Holiday did to Milwaukee.
Yeah. Like I see him. For him to really be successful, and I could be underestimating him. For him to be really successful, I think he got to have 2 stars. Like if you got a Tatum and a Brown, and you got Brunson, he's that guy that's going to lead. He's going to fill in where he needs to fill in. If you need scoring that day, he can do it. but I don't know, and he might be able to do it if he's somebody that's going to every single game you could just slot him in for 18 and 6. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. I just see him as somebody that's going to lead the team, manage the team, do whatever the team needs. He's tough as nails. He can score. He can get in the key. But do you see him as, I think a fill-in guy is not the right word. Do you see him as a consistent guy on the offensive end, game in and game out?
Um,
Because if you think about
I,
Marcus Smart, he plays off of those guys.
Yeah.
Do you see Brunson playing off of the guys, or do you see him taking the lead as far as scoring is concerned?
to me, it's going to be a combination of both, right? But and as far as him being efficient every night, I don't
Mhm.
think for 82 games in any NBA career that a player was efficient every night. You're gonna have bad nights, right? So, you know, as I said before, he he's out there to calm down the team, lead the team, put the guys in the right position. Um, and as far as points wise, I think when it's time for us to get a bucket, I think that's when, he's going to get us a bucket,
Right.
or make the right play make, for either RJ or even Mitch in a pick and roll situation, So I wouldn't put too much expectations on Brunson, but I think that um I think he's going to be efficient most nights, but I wouldn't put that much pressure on him unless he's going to put that pressure on himself.
Okay.
Right.
So did I make sense? Did I make kind of sense there?
Mm.
You straddled the fence a little bit, but I followed. I followed.
That's crazy. Yeah, she said,
Yeah, you made sense, Staf.
Good thing
Yeah, you
Jarrell
made
goes
sense to
next,
me.
so I have time to think about it. Go ahead. I'm just
any,
playing.
any thoughts he bombs? Not any thoughts. Any chance he bombs in New York? Think about it now. In
No.
Dallas, you know, he wasn't the guy. He was one of the guys, but he wasn't the main guy. Dallas played a particular offense. They had players on that team where there was a more space for him to operate in the key, which he likes to do. He may not have that space on this team with Julius Randle, um, Mitchell Robinson. RJ likes to operate below the 3-point line as well. He's playing in New York. His dad is on the team. He has his godfather is running the team. Tibbs knew him since birth. He's coaching the team. So there's going to be a new offense as well. Any
Mhm.
chance he bombs? Any chance he's not successful? Any chance he doesn't have a good season?
A good
Uh,
season or a good first season, or do you mean like by the end of his
Good
contract?
question.
You know what I'm
Good
saying?
question.
Like, if it's a good first season, then that remains to be seen. I don't know what type of roster we're going to have going forward. But in terms of his career, I think he will be fine. I think Jalen Brunson's the type of player that, was looking forward to this. Like, that's the type of dog that he is. Like, he wanted this.
I agree with that. I don't think he's gonna bomb. I just that seems inconceivable to me. I just because of the players surrounding him. Now again, I'm a RJ stan, so there's that. Let me put preface my statement with saying that. But I think him on the same team as an RJ Barrett and a Julius who has something to prove. If we don't trade him in the event of the Donovan Mitchell trade, which would be a very different situation, I think we're gonna play well as a team. I really do. I think the team is gonna want to prove themselves after missing the playoffs entirely last year. I think they all have chips on their
Right.
shoulder.
Right.
Free throw shooting aside, though, we'll see kind of what they add to their bag, so to speak. But I mean, you see that Grimes has added to his bag. We know Quickly's a worker. Randall came back in shape. We can at least say that.
Right.
So I'm just of the belief that with a team like that surrounding him, if the Knicks were, how can I put it? If the team was a little bit different, and let's say RJ was a rookie or something like that, then I would be more worried about that because there's a lot more pressure on him. But I believe in the supporting cast that we have, probably more than most people. I'm an optimist when it comes to my sports team, so there's that. I know my dad thinks it's hilarious. Let's see what it's like when I turn 40. I'm not there yet. But that said, I do think that we can turn this around. I do think we have decent pieces. They are not, I don't want to say they're bad or anything. I just don't believe that they're bad pieces.
Yeah,
And then
I
it's
don't
even
think
more
he's.
different if Donovan comes here. So, right.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna
Well,
bomb
we'll
me
see.
at
Mike, we'll
all.
talk about that a little.
I know, I can't
Just a
help
little
it.
bit. Just a
It's
little
There
bit.
goes the optimist part, right? I already see him on the team. He's already here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to bring him up, man.
absolute.
Yeah, I think he's not gonna bomb. I think he's gonna be successful in this offense. And I mean, some people was well, some of the Knicks fans were half and half on even bringing him in on the first place. So you're gonna have fans that once he has a bad game, they're gonna say, "I told you so,"
That's true.
right? And then you're gonna have the fans that be like, "Yeah, man, he's bringing it every night. He's tough. He's putting Julius in his place. He's putting Randall in his place. He's making pick and roll plays with Mitch, getting the team involved." So but overall, I think it's not going to be a bomb. He's going to surprise a lot of people, I think. And as I think Bolinchek said it too. He wanted this, right?
Right.
And he got it now. He's the leader of the squad now, and he's going to be running the team. So I believe he's going to put himself in any position to make himself be successful. And I think the team, not the team, but the coaches and the front office is going to put the right people for him to
Right.
be successful.
You know what's funny? To me, personally, Jalen Brunson, I think, is the least of my worries when it comes to this team.
Same.
Yeah, we got a lot of question marks, Jarrell.
When you
A
think
lot
about
of question marks.
when you think about every position on our team, Jalen Brunson to me is the one without the question marks. I already know what he's going to do. I have no idea what RJ is going to be next year. I
You
think
mean
he's going to
I
be.
do. You
take
can ask
the
me.
next step? You don't think he's going to regress, but you
No,
mean
no.
will he take the next step?
Exactly.
Right.
Like
Right.
I believe
Right.
he's going to
No, that's
improve
fair.
just because of how RJ is made up. He's going to improve. I just don't know how, what he's going to improve in, how long is it going to take because he's a slow starter. So
Right.
so he has mad holes. Julius Randle, we already know what those question marks are.
Right.
Mitch, we already know what those question marks are. Can
Right.
he,
Cam.
Cam question mark, IQ question mark, OB
All
question
my
mark.
guys.
Everybody has a question mark besides Jalen Brunson. Like,
Wow, that's a very good point. We was talking about that last night on the Queen's Court. Like we were talking about what's the ceiling of this team, what's the floor. We was like, it's hard to say what the ceiling is because there's so many questions.
Right.
If we get
Right.
this Julius Randle, if RJ takes the next step, if OB
If
gets a
this,
3-point,
right,
a
if
consistent
that,
3-point shot, if this, if that,
if Tibbs
Right.
learn how to coach again
if Tibbs changes the offense,
oh Lord,
and can coach in 2023.
right, maybe read and react will work a little better with Brunson, on the team, but he's not going to have the ball in his hand 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
The other question I have is, do you think Brunson has reached his ceiling? He's a high floor guy, but do you think there's even more improvement that he can yeah.
I don't want to say he reached his ceiling just because of how young he is,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see him. I don't know how can he get better at what he does because he's so efficient now and he's a real point guard. So unless you're talking about something small, not small, but something like turnovers and stuff like that, then yeah, I don't know what his ceiling is. If that's your question, that's a tough question.
I don't think he touched his ceiling yet.
You think he can still get better?
Yeah, I think he could still get better because it's just the fact that I don't know if you heard one interview with him that people think that he wasn't worth that 100 million.
Oh yeah.
So he already going in the season with a chip on his shoulder to prove some of these fans wrong, right?
He said it too.
He said it in the Old Man in the Three podcast.
Right.
It was a very good interview.
Podcast. Yep.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So look, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna be. I don't think as Jarrell said, he's the one that we know what he's gonna bring, right? But I still think he has more to his game than we see because he was overshadowed also by Luka, right? Even though we've seen some playoff games where he was terrific, you know what I mean? So you never know what he's gonna do when he come to the Garden. And he talking about growing up in the Garden, seeing all type of faces and this and that and the third, and he remember this and remember that. So he's gonna make some noise. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't even have a question for him when it comes to how he will play in the playoffs, because we saw that already too.
Yeah, he was very clutch in the playoffs. The only thing I could think of that he could still work on, and it's tough just looking at the stats, right? But I know he didn't take up a lot of pull-up threes. He was more of a catch and shoot guy when it came through the three-point line. So that would be something he could work on in the offseason, and might be working on right now. But that's really all that I saw. Because I did a little bit of a deep dive, I think, a couple of weeks ago when we signed him, because I wanted to know what holes and what all that he did. I mean, I saw him in the playoffs. I saw him when he played the Knicks. He didn't play too great both those games, but the Knicks just destroyed Dallas for some reason. We had a chip on our shoulder. I don't know what it was.
Because in those two games, RJ looked better than Luka too.
Sure did.
Yeah. The first game was in the Garden. Yeah.
Yep.
Y'all know I was screaming for him, like, get him, RJ. But anyway.
Get him.
Yes, the voice goes up an octave when we
I see.
It's different when we lose him. But that said, I mean, he didn't play great in those games. But the only really hole I heard was just the spot up 3-point shooting. And it seemed more to be just a confidence thing, more so than he can't make them. So that was just something he'll have to work on. But to your point earlier about without the same spacing, we don't know what to really expect. It's tough to know how well he'll shoot, but I think that's the only hole. I mean, his footwork's great. His mid-range is great. His passing's solid. I don't know what else the guy can work. I mean, can you work on, I can't even say that he can work on his defense, because his effort is there. It's not like he's not a willing defender. He's a willing defender. It's just sometimes he's just, too short.
Right.
Depending on who he's playing
too short. You're not overpowering him. I mean, he's a pit bull type of body. So it's not like you're going to overpower him. But yeah, you could definitely.
Like Chris Paul.
Right. Exactly. You could definitely.
Not quite as good, though.
Over him. Mm-hmm. I could see a world in which things don't go right. I can say, I'm not saying that's going to happen. And if you ask me to put my money on it, I would put my money that he's going to be just fine. But I could see a world where the offense is not right for him. People aren't hitting his shots. The fans turn on him, start booing. I could see a world. I could see a world like that. But Staf is like, nah. Even if
they're gonna call you negative Nancy again.
She should see it because she just saw it happen last year with Julius. We turned right around on dude immediately. So to your point, I agree with you, and I'm so sorry to cut you off. I just realized.
No. Go ahead.
That's true.
No.
I think the first month is going to not be easy. I worded that weird, but I don't think the first month. I feel like that's going to be a tough stretch for us.
Right.
But once we catch fire, we'll be good. But I imagine that might be a little tough. But I think he has a better mental space
He
and
does.
the wherewithal of knowing like this is how New York is. He can even look at last year and see what Julius went through and be like,
He's
so if
seen
I
it.
play like him,
Yeah.
this is what will happen to me.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be able to handle it just kind of due to that. And then his father being there, Leon, and I don't know how, I know they say, I think Leon is his godfather, but I'm sure
Yeah.
just his dad being like, and I don't know if you guys also read about Rick Brunson. I read that he was a really tough coach on that kid. He was really, really hard on him.
Yep.
Yeah, he
To
said
the
it
point.
in the interview too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
So,
he was.
I mean, I'm sure his father will be harder than any fan could ever be because you got to see your dad every day.
Yeah,
I think he'll give him the business.
what to your point, Bowling Chick? Remember in the interview, he said he and his family, also his dad, they set goals together.
Yeah.
They do every year.
So every year. So even though his father is on the bench, there's going to be extra expectations between both of them to get to a certain level, right?
It's true. Yep. It was a
Yeah.
great
Oh,
interview.
one more thing,
Worth
Bowling Chick.
listening to everybody.
You got a serious competition in the chat as far as the most RJ fan. Right.
Right.
His
I think
name is
Harlem Girl,
his
right?
name is his name is Hard Will. Okay, he will go back and forth for RJ. Okay, so let me just say you got competition with that dude
Nah.
when it comes to RJ.
But Ron is
That's
more
my guy.
diplomatic about it. He's definitely more diplomatic about it. I don't think Brunson has reached his ceiling. I think he's going to have that opportunity here with the Knicks. He has that opportunity. I'm trying to figure out when has there. I guess it would be Chris Paul. I'm not saying he's Chris Paul, but the combination of leadership, given what the team needs. Do you need me to score today? I can score. You need me to just facilitate this game? I can do that.
It's some players. Kyle Lowry, maybe. He's the
Kyle
type of player.
Lowry is like, yeah. He's
I know what
in
you're talking
that
about,
mode
yeah.
where he could do both. I can
Right.
lay back and I could just facilitate this team, let everybody else cook, look for my spots, or if you need me to, I could take over. And when you watch Paul, that's how he is sometimes. He's just passing the ball around, taking the shots that come to him. And then there's times, especially in the fourth quarter and crunch time, well, he'll hit like 3 or 4 mid-range jumpers in a row.
See, you know what it is?
Those
Is that we
playoffs.
haven't had a point guard here in so long. You have to explain what a real point guard is, basically. 'Cause that's basically what you just explained.
Right.
That's what a point guard is supposed to do.
Well,
Right.
it's a
Pick your
yeah,
spot.
but there's
What
not that
does the
many.
team need?
Right. But we haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
Like we have to actually say it out loud. That's what he's
Yeah.
good at. And that's what he's supposed
Yeah,
Gotta
to do.
define
right.
it.
Chris Paul, Lowry. I want to say Kid, but Kid couldn't even score like that.
Nah.
Nah,
Would you
but
put in?
he
Not in
Would
the
you
did,
same
put? Would you
way.
put? Would you
It's
put
not like
Drew
he didn't
Holiday in there
score,
too?
though. I get it though, yeah. Drew
Would you put
Holiday?
Drew Holiday in there? Yeah.
The only reason I don't know
Maybe
if
when he was
But
younger.
Drew's different though.
opportunity on
Like,
that team is so Giannis dominated, right? Well, he doesn't have an opportunity to be like down the stretch. I'm gonna
Right.
take these shots right here.
I think when he was younger, maybe when he was in Philly. Like
okay, I'll agree with you there.
Holiday.
Yes.
Like young Drew Holiday would get you a bucket when he wanted to. I
That's
I
remember
liked him then.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's ask the panel. Maddox, wonder what his clutch factor is like. I think it's high.
It's like a 9 out of 10,
Mhm.
to be honest.
And to IQJ, nobody said that because he's put a comment in there, said that how we saying that he reaches his ceiling by 25. I don't think nobody said that. What we saying is that he hasn't reached his ceiling as yet.
Right.
No, he still has more to go. That's what we're saying. We never saying that, he's not gonna we already see his ceiling already. Just to clarify that.
Right. And just talking about clutch factor, what series was that? Was it the Utah series where Luka missed the first 2 games or missed 2 of the
Yes,
games?
Yes.
Yep.
And he
To me,
balled
that's
out.
clutch.
Game 40.
Yes.
To go out and get 36 points one game, and they're gonna make a jet. Look, he scored 36 on us, so this is what we're gonna do. Boom, 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 and then he come back and score 41, or it might have been the other way around, 41. But regardless, they were keying on him, and he was still able to score 41 points.
Right.
You know, that series is over. Luka goes down. They lose those 2 games. They down what 0-3. That series is over. So that shows a clutch factor to me, not in a particular game like in the last 5 minutes, but to come out and basically save the series.
Right.
In the 2 games that Luka was out.
Jalen Brunson is the type of player that's supposed to give you 40 points in a playoff game like that. Like he stepped up and did that. Like nobody would have thought he was going to do that.
No, with Jarrell, let me go back to the interview again. Remember, he said that the whole team was reading that the Utah Jazz was going to sweep them,
right?
And nobody had confidence in them.
Exactly.
So he made it personally to go out and perform the way how he did, just to prove people wrong. And in the Phoenix series also too, because everybody thought Phoenix was going to finish them.
Yep.
So I mean, Brunson, man, he got heart and he got will. Okay, now one thing I know, he's gonna push this team. And I me personally, I think if Randall get out of line, I think he's gonna put Randall in his place. Like, bro, you gotta chill.
Right. They're gonna have a fight.
You know what I mean?
But you know what?
It ain't gonna be a fight. It's just gonna be like a big man to big man talk. Like, bro, we trying to reach this ceiling or whatever may be the case, and I need you to fall in line. You understand what I'm saying? And I think he's gonna bring that leadership to the team.
No,
like really and truly.
I think Randall's gonna fall in line anyway. I mean, some people you just look at, you can feel their energy, and you just know, all right, I'm not messing with this person right
here. Ain't nobody testing Jalen Brunson in that locker room.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah, man. With the Godfather as the president?
Yeah, that don't make no sense. Leave that man alone.
and the thing about, and Randall is connected in the Knicks organization as well, you know, but he's not going to be as connected as Brunson.
No.
And I think he's going to know that. And I think once you know that, he's going to fall right in line. I don't anticipate any issues. And I think we're going to see a more motivated Randall because of last season, but also because I think with the type of leadership that Brunson brings, I can't imagine Randall getting away with what he got away with last season.
Right.
I just don't see it. There's always been guys, I wouldn't say a lot of them, that didn't mind getting in your face, even if you were a teammate. They didn't mind the type of friction. Jimmy Butler didn't mind that type, doesn't mind that type of friction.
You need that.
Yeah. And there's a few other players like that as well. Chad, if you can recall some, throw it up in the chat.
Draymond Green.
They're going to just Draymond Green.
Every season.
Gotta say. Yeah.
Marcus Smart
Chris Paul too.
Marcus Smart.
Chris Paul too.
Right. Rajon Rondo.
Right.
Yes.
Nobody messing with Rajon Rondo on any team.
Right. Because he's gonna let, whether you like it or not.
Right.
You know, sometimes a little, was it Michael Jordan who said sometimes a little friction is good? Somebody said
nothing wrong with it at all.
You know?
Yeah, but did you remember when Chris Paul, I don't know what situation it is. Oh, I think it was with the Clippers. And he knew where the secret tunnel was.
Who is
to go around to the other door, right? To sneak in while somebody tried to distract them. So I'm telling you, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Chris Paul ain't nothing to play with either, too, man.
Right.
That was a vet move.
IQJ, I appreciate you. Steven Jackson, for those who remember Steven Jackson.
Right. Yes.
Reggie Miller, they would say what they have to say to a teammate if you're not acting right. So a lot of times, don't get me wrong, I think Tibbs should have held Randall accountable, and the organization as well. Not just Tibbs, the organization as well. But sometimes it's good to have a player on the team where it doesn't even get, that's a coach's best friend when things don't even rise that high, because there's somebody on the team that's going to put him in his place.
You know who that player was for us last year, but nobody talked about it?
Who was
Evan
that?
Fournier.
Yeah, Evan Fournier. You're right. That's
Yeah,
why.
but nobody really
Evan Fournier
respected him
did that to
though.
Julius Randle a
But
couple
nobody,
times.
but you see what Julius did
He
to him, just
tried.
like flying him off like he
Hey,
was a rag doll.
I didn't say it worked. I didn't say it worked, Stafford. I said he did. At least he had the, the wherewithal to do it, to try,
Right,
Right,
because he was a vet.
right,
And I think
right,
Taj
right,
tried
right.
too, but wasn't able to just get through to Julius.
right,
Right.
right. It has to be somebody like one thing about Fournier is tough. So
Mhm.
you're right. Randall didn't respect him, but he did it. He
Mhm.
stepped to him and let him know, like,
From the mean streets of
and it's
Paris.
not just what we saw in the game, in the locker room as well.
Right.
Fournier saw that from the beginning that this guy is not right, so
Mhm.
they have friction, in the beginning of the season as well. Fournier would fall down. Randall didn't pick nobody up anyway.
Nobody. Yeah.
He almost
He did
stepped
that to
over
Obi
him
one
like
time
Allen
too. I was like, damn.
Iverson,
I was ready to come through the TV. I'm like, you got to pick up my boy now.
Yeah, I remember
Like,
he
what
did
is
that to
this?
RJ and Obi one time on 2 different occasions. I was like, damn,
Same
yo.
game.
Like, you never been on a team?
Right.
Like,
My
you
man
too
was
old for
going
this.
through.
That's not D
Yeah.
Rose, public enemy. D Rose is a very
He's not the voice guy though.
yeah.
That's what I feel so
Unfortunately,
too, yo. I
yeah.
feel like D Rose was part of the reasons why you see Julius got unraveled too. There was no floor leader, no general, no person to be like, yo, calm down, bro. Because
Right.
half of the time he was injured. And I know Julius respect D Rose to the ultimate.
That is true. If
You
Derrick
know?
Rose was healthy and actually was playing, I think it would have been a lot different.
Yeah, I feel
We
so
also would
too.
have won games, and I think that
Yes.
was a
I
big
was
part
just
of it.
about to say that we would have been
Sorry.
won more games. We wouldn't have blown 20-point leads like how we did in Portland and other games also too.
We almost lost that Golden State game,
Mm,
even
right.
though we won that. That one I thought was gone, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Steph, you were right though when you said you were asking how many points we're not asking, but you were saying how many points Brunson followed up with, and it was 30 something the first game. The second one was
Was
41.
41.
So that's a
Yeah.
hell of a way to follow
Yeah.
up a game
Yeah.
one like that.
And I always give respect to players, or I'm always impressed with players whose averages go up in the playoffs.
Mhm.
Those are the ballers because it's a tougher environment.
Yep.
And his stats went up at least last year in the playoffs. So those who saying he's not tested, he was playing with Luka. He had plenty of opportunity to show himself without Luka, and he did very well.
Mhm.
He did very well. So, do you think if we do get Donovan Mitchell, do you think Brunson is disappointed because he's leaving a team with a ball dominant player, coming to the Knicks thinking that he's going to have the ball in his hands and kind of facilitate the offense, and then if we trade for Donovan Mitchell, he's back in a similar role? Or do you think even Donovan is not as ball dominant as Luka?
He's not.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
ditto that.
to answer your question though, I think it's maybe a little bit of both. But I think ultimately Jalen Brunson wants to win, and especially win here in New York City, like he's already said
Yes.
multiple times. I
Mhm.
think he would want Donovan Mitchell here just because it helps him win.
I wouldn't be surprised if, Leon Rose or maybe through his son, his actual agent, Sam Rose,
Mhm.
didn't tell him that this might be a thing. I
Yep.
mean, the
Yeah.
whole Donovan thing looks like it's been going on behind the scenes for a little bit, just like the Brunson thing has been going
Right.
on behind the scenes.
You're right. You're
So
right.
I don't think he would be too off guard about it. If anything, maybe that's why they, again, conspiracy theorists here, but maybe that's why they pushed off Jalen's press conference so late. I think we might have thought we were going to get him
I
before
thought
then,
that
and then
too.
did it together.
I thought that too.
It
Wow.
just didn't work out.
Like everybody keep on talking about how remember Worldwide West and Julius Randle was in the playoff game in Dallas when they
Yep,
playing Utah too.
they were.
They
That's why it was so
they're
funny.
on the
Like,
court
you
at the
want
same
Brunson?
time.
Like, Donovan's playing them. We were scouting both.
Right.
Right. Everybody keep on talking about Jalen Brunson, but Donovan Mitchell was on the court also.
That's true. Yeah, I agree, Harlem Girl. Same thing. The bowling chick said, I'm sure the front office told Brunson their plans to go after Donovan Mitchell.
Maybe
Yeah.
as their sales pitch.
Because you know what?
That's true.
I read somewhere that Brunson sat down with the Knicks and wanted to know what was their plan to build
Exactly.
a championship. Like it was important to him. Like I'm not just gonna
Right.
leave
He's still
out
gonna win.
just because my dad is here and just because you guys are family. What's the plan?
No, facts, because he did say he wanted to stay in Dallas now.
Mhm.
Right? He did say that, but I didn't know that, Queen, that he sat down with the Knicks
I
and
read
and
that
talked
somewhere.
I read that
about
too.
that.
I read it too.
I didn't
like
know
if-
that. So I
Like,
mean,
if Rick Brunson
it's
would have
just
got
a
hired by the Kings, he wouldn't have went to Sacramento. Let's just say that.
Right, just because his dad is there.
Nah,
Right,
no
right,
way.
right,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, because with any player that's reaching a ceiling right now and had a great season and a bunch of teams that's wanting him, he want to be successful. He just don't want to go there and be a loser. So I mean, if I was a player also too, I would want to know what is the plans going forward, because Queen, you said it before. New York fans, they will love you today and hate you tomorrow,
Right.
right? So because I know people was talking about, oh, he comes in, he got to score the 20 points and all of that. Nah, you understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
Jalen Brunson wants to win.
He wants
yeah,
to
he
win,
just
and he wants to get real
wants to
minutes,
win, man.
which we can
Yeah,
provide.
he just
Every
wants to
time-
win and prove himself.
You know what? I could say every time. Remember, I told you I watched him in college. So every time everybody brings up he won 2 championships,
Mm-hmm.
he
says
always
should have
says
been-
it should have been 3.
Yep.
Yeah, he
Every
does.
single
He
time.
says it
Yeah.
every single time
Uh-huh.
they bring it up.
That.
So think
Yep.
about that. Like he won 2 national championships. So every time somebody brings it up now, he said it should have been 3.
Yeah, he does.
He actually hates losing more than he likes winning. That's the type of
We
point
need
guard that I
that.
Yeah. And you know why? Another reason why, even I don't think the Knicks fans will turn on him, because he's somebody that you can count on every night. Doesn't matter. It may look different each night, but his approach to the game is different. So one night that may look like 20 points, 8 assists. The next night it might look like 13 points, 5 assists. But if you watch
Right.
the game, you would see his impact on the game. But he's so even that even if the fans turned on him, I don't think it would impact his
Right.
performance.
at
I
all.
agree.
I don't think so
I
either.
don't think it would. This
Nope.
guy is tough as nails. I just don't think it would.
I agree.
I agree too.
What
I
a
agree,
positive
but
show.
New York,
Yeah.
No,
but
right?
New York fans could be
I know.
toxic, man. You know, they could be something else, yo. And up to this
You're
day,
right.
even though we signed him, people still think
But that's
he
just
shouldn't.
because
We shouldn't sign him
That's what you
Other
got.
than
because of
his
his height
athleticism, what's
and all
the,
of these other things.
You got to
what's
think
the
about
other
I'm
negative
sorry, Queen.
you guys are hearing? Other than his height
defense,
and athleticism, what else? Okay, his defense.
athleticism, defense.
Yeah,
he's too
defense.
little,
Short.
just in
It's
general.
the same
Yeah.
thing that people been saying about
Mhm.
him since he was like 15. So he doesn't care
Mhm.
about any of that. It's the same
Right.
exact stuff. But I think it's
I mean,
usually.
he brought it up quickly too. If you ask
Yes.
him,
I
Right.
think a lot of
And,
it.
and
has
one
to
of the
do
things
with-
that he's not the man. We not the Knicks fans that's realistic know that he's not the man.
that's
Right.
not what he was brought
He's
here
not
for.
that guy.
Right,
You know what I mean? He's just a piece to the puzzle,
right.
right?
But on a
So,
championship,
you know,
if we ever get to that level where we're a championship team, he is perfect
Yes.
to lead a
Yeah.
championship team.
I'm so
but
excited.
he's been there.
Perfect.
He's been there on the high school level, the collegiate level, and he almost made it on the NBA level by going to the Western Conference Finals with Luka. So,
Right.
They went up against
You
a
know.
buzzsaw. That's the only reason they didn't make it. I mean, Golden State
Right.
was a tough matchup.
When
Right.
it comes
yeah,
to
but I still
negativity,
didn't think Dallas had enough though.
nah, they
I
didn't.
don't
Not
still
for
think
them.
Dallas had enough.
Not
Yeah.
for
I
them.
thought Luca and Jalen were enough. I don't know. They surprised me with that first series. So I was just like, okay, I'm on board. I'm gonna keep betting on y'all. Go
I
ahead.
think the negativity when it come to Knicks fans, I think we just got PSD
PTS.
and PTSD. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
everything that every move that we make is always going to be naysayers of the move before we even
And
make it.
calculated, right?
It's the same
Mhm.
thing with Donovan Mitchell now. Now all of a
Yep.
sudden he's short and can't play defense. All of a
Right?
sudden. all
He's
of
a
a sudden
scrub
he's
now.
short. Like we wanted Donovan Mitchell. I remember when we didn't draft Donovan Mitchell and how
And they were
everybody said
making
we
fun.
should have.
Yep.
Right.
Now that we have a chance to get him, now he's too short and don't play defense.
Right.
And Rick Pitino told
Yeah.
Yes.
the GM at the time, like, yo, that guy is that guy. You need to draft, and who we go pick? Frank Ntilikina.
Right. And then fire Phil like 2 weeks later.
Congratulations.
Just like the Jets did a few years ago. So it's kind of funny,
Same thing.
how that stuff works out. But it's cool. I mean, Donovan went from a top 10 player to a top 20 player, and I think at one point I was listening to something today, and they called him a top 30 player. I want him to be a Knick just so he can shut that crap down because
Right.
it's just
Yeah,
I'm sick of it. Why does that happen?
I was listening to Legler. What's Legler's first name?
Tim Legler.
Tim Legler.
Tim.
On Sirius X. No, was it Sirius XM I was listening to? I forgot what I was listening to. He had the nerve to say,
What he said.
I'm excited
I
now.
want to hear this.
doesn't move the needle. And so I'm saying,
Oh, really?
but listen, he doesn't make them championship content. Okay.
Yeah, so what?
When does one player come onto it on this Knick team? Name one player that's going to come on, pick anybody in the NBA,
Right.
put them on this Knick team, and tell me if they're championship contenders.
LeBron.
If the Knicks were trying to get Durant, we would hear the same thing. And
Right.
he's a
Yeah, same
championship
thing.
quality player, top
Yeah,
5 player.
LeBron
We'd hear the same
James-
exact thing.
LeBron
Right, so
James missed the playoffs, and KD got swept in the first round. So
Right.
I don't want to hear
Okay.
the needle moving when it comes to one player anymore.
He's one piece. Yes,
doesn't
you're still
work.
going to have to build around him, but let's stop with that. So he doesn't make you a championship contender, so we shouldn't get him. Basically, that's
But
Don't
Queen, you
improve
got
the
to
team.
understand.
Don't do anything.
You got to understand, Queen, and the panel and the
LeBron
chat.
doesn't make
that-
this
that-
team.
He just missed the
LeBron
playoffs.
couldn't even take the LA to the play-in.
When
He's going to
Anthony
make
Davis,
this team a championship contender. Let's stop.
nah,
Let's stop.
People is
KD got
always
swept
going to
in the
hate
first
on the
round.
Knicks, especially
KD
people like ESPN
Loaded.
and all
And
these
we
other.
win.
let's stop. Let's stop. Let's stop.
Mhm. They always
No.
going to hate on the Knicks, Queen. They're always going to hate on the Knicks. No,
Yeah.
no matter
Already
what. It could be
picking
the
you up.
RJ Jeffersons. They could be the
Right.
Charles Barkley. They could be who else? The list goes on
All
and
of
on and on and on. So you know, what I mean, the
Max
Knicks is
Kellerman?
never going. Oh, worse.
Yeah, I
Worse.
don't even count.
He's
him
just
no
a
more.
straight
You understand what I'm
troll,
saying?
though.
So I mean, we always going to get criticized whatever we do, whether it be a good move, a bad move, a mid move. They always going to critique us. But let the other teams, like the Nets and these other teams, do what they do.
But
You
you
ain't
know what's
gonna hear
crazy, though?
nothing about it.
Say if KD did, say we did trade for him, the number one story out of all of that will be how KD is not enough for us to get to the championship.
Correct. And then it
Mhm.
would rail us if we did the same thing Brooklyn did last year
Exactly.
and got swept in the first round. We wouldn't hit the end of it. New York's so sorry. New York's so sorry. Okay.
What? Worse yet,
Let's
they're
go
gonna
ahead and
cuss
build a
Dolan
team.
even more. They're gonna even curse out Dolan even more and telling me when he needs to sell the team. Shoot,
I
you're
don't
gonna see pitchforks
I
and
think Sterling-
firestones and all of that.
Let's pump it down. LA
Oh,
don't
man.
have Mitch, Randall, RJ, and Brunson. If you add KD and LeBron to that unit, we would be the best. Stop.
Well,
Stop.
together, sure. Both of them. But
Yeah,
not
we
one.
have KD
Not
and
one
LeBron.
or.
A fully actualized Randall, right? Because you're not talking about the Randall of last season or the
Mhm.
RJ
Mhm.
from last season. Two of the most inefficient players in the league. Sorry, the bowling chick. I'm just saying he'll get better, but
Right.
Right, right.
It's cool. My baby is 22 years old. He is
My
coming.
baby.
no doubt about it.
My baby
He'll never
is
see the show.
22.
It's fine.
Nobody on you. In my opinion, there's nobody you can drop on this roster right now that makes us championship contenders. I just don't see it. And if it happens, it's because Randall is playing lights out. RJ took the next step. Mitch is more consistent in his double doubles and blocks, not just one every 3 games or 5 games. So, yeah, those players would have to play lights out. Now you add KD, that's a different story. But the way that team played last year, you drop KD on that team, the Knicks are not championship contenders. They just
KD and LeBron would have traded Randall off the team the first quarter of the season. Both of them would have had him off the team if they were on the team last year. Because Randall lost.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have made no sense to have him there. They got two.
Right.
They
Now
got
Tatum
and yeah.
Tatum lost the championship with the team that he's on,
which was a better team than
a better team than the Knicks. So that's wrong too.
Yeah, but with Tatum, I think he still disappeared though. He probably had like one or two good games.
Yeah, it happens
in the championship series, and
I don't even think he had two good games.
It happens.
I think he had two. He had one, but I think he had an injury. I swear, because he fell all the way off. I was so sure. I was like, something wrong with him. Something wrong. I don't see it. But some players, a lot of players play through injury. I mean, I think we're just not aware. But that was just my take on it at the time.
If Giannis was on the Knicks, we win the title.
We don't have enough shooters.
Yeah, that would be the problem.
Like for every single player, I'm gonna tell you why we're not winning the championship, yo. We're not winning the championship with one single player with this roster. It's not working.
It's just the same offense like Dallas offense. When they play, was it 5 out or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
You will have to do that with the Milwaukee kid. What's his name? Oh no, you just said his name, Queen.
Giannis.
Giannis. Yeah, Giannis. So that means we would definitely have to have shooters all around.
Last year would have been Burks, Fournier, RJ, Randall, and Giannis.
No.
Or it would have been Burks, RJ, somebody at small forward, Giannis, and Mitch. That's not winning a championship.
It's not.
We ain't got no shooters there.
Yeah.
We only got people in the paint.
Maybe in that trade we get Drew Holiday as well. Since
hopefully we get
very
Drew
pie in the
Holiday.
sky.
We get Chris Middleton in that trade. We get the coach in that trade. We can get
No, I don't like that coach. No.
Not the coach.
You don't like Budenholzer?
Nah, I'm not a fan.
Really?
I don't think he's based on like how Milwaukee was playing before. I think they just ended up having a miracle run. I don't like his rotations either. I was following Milwaukee for a little bit, and I think Giannis went on a miracle run, which I mean, because he was that damn good a player though, and I think he balled out, and that ended up having them win. They were going to fire him. They were talking about firing him halfway through the season, and then
I do think with coaches.
But then Budenholzer. Go ahead, Queen. Sorry.
I just think with coaches, these owners to me are just a bit unrealistic, and I'm not saying in Milwaukee's case, but because they were right, they were right there. But some of these owners, like, they just expect you to just work blue magic with these teams.
Not blue magic.
But then Budenholzer
in my hair right now.
Right. They give you blue magic.
Oh, see, I'm old. I thought about the other blue magic.
Oh no, I was so with the hair. Oh God.
But then Budenholzer used to coach the Hawks also too.
Yeah.
And then he had like 5 All-Stars at one time.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think it was 4 of them.
I mean, that was when Josh Smith was good.
Yeah, but Bolichick, but I don't know how you could discredit him though.
I don't think he's an imaginative enough coach. He's not one that adjusts well. He reminds me of Tibbs. To me, they're the same guy. Tibbs might be might be a little bit better on, believe it or not, defensively than but that's a hot take. So I won't go too far with it. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't think he's an over the top coach. And I'll even say this: I don't think there's like 10 really, really good coaches in the NBA, and then the rest of them are just mid.
I don't even think
I don't think it's 10.
But this is the thing: you win with players. Like everybody, Tibbs is not a winner. Neither was Pop until he won. Neither was the Golden State coach,
Kerr. Steve Kerr.
None of
he stepped into that roster
until they won. And
But
all
see, I
Would you
like
would
the
you
way
put
Kirk
would you
coaches,
put Nick Nurse inside that category too?
right, but he wasn't a
I
winner
put Nick.
until he won. You know what I mean? So
That's
I do
true.
like Nick
That's
Nurse
true.
though.
Right.
none of them are winners until they win. And
Right. You still got
you
other players.
have to have talent to win.
You're
Where's
right.
Steve Kerr is such a great coach. You think Steve Kerr would be a great coach on the Knicks? You think Steve Kerr without
No.
Klay Thompson and without Curry?
Why you think he chose them over us in the first place?
I think
Well,
No, one of the reasons why he
He
chose them
over
because it's
us
to
in
be
the first
close to
place.
his daughters. No, it's to be closer to his daughters.
So
Because
you
his
think it
daughters
had
was-
nothing to do with the
I
roster?
think it
at
was
the
more
time?
than one reason.
that's what he said, but
Uh,
it have had
If
something.
you would have looked at
Yeah,
our
well,
roster
it
compared to
could be
theirs,
that, and then not being under Phil Jackson too. So I get your
Yeah.
point.
And-
I get your
and
point.
it was
I
a
get
Dolan.
your
move
point.
for him.
So
Yeah, Dolan as well.
And then he knew what he was coming into. I mean, he looked at the roster and he looked at the ownership and he said, I'll go over there. And then of course his, being close to family was a perk. I don't think it was the only thing. I think it was just, an additional thing. But
Right.
I will still say with Kerr though, Kerr has always been super creative with his rotations and things like that. Like he'll take someone off
Yeah,
the
he could
scrap
definitely
heap,
coach.
drop him in there for 15 minutes, and you're like, look at those good minutes he just got out of Gary Payton II.
Yeah,
Gary
he
Payton
definitely
II was a scrub.
Right.
I won't give him all the credit. Obviously, Gary
Right.
Payton II made himself better. He worked hard on his game, all that stuff. But I don't know. I'm a fan of Kerr. But
Right.
I get your
I
point
like
though,
him
Steph.
too,
I
but
agree
that's
with
just
you.
Kerr's philosophy. You can't even find 8 coaches in the league, if that many, who do that. Most coaches have their rotation.
You're right. I can only think of 2. Him and Spoelstra.
Right.
I have to really stretch.
Spoelstra.
That's a really good coach right there.
What Spoelstra does, forget putting you in to get met. Spoelstra has a set rotation too. What he'll do if you get injured, he'll pull people from the back of the bench and put them in and get minutes out of him. But if once his team is set, those guys don't get any But what I do like about Spoelstra is if you're not performing as a starter over a long period of time, he will put somebody else in.
Yes.
He's gonna ride with you for a little bit, but afterwards he's gonna put somebody. He's gonna put somebody in.
And his adjustments in the playoffs are always
you
really
learned that
good.
from Duncan Robinson.
Right.
Yeah.
Robinson sat
Put
right
it-
on that
put it
bench
Matt-
next to Spo
What's his
during
name?
that
What's his
playoff
name?
series.
Strauss or
Strus,
Strauss,
Max
whoever
Strus.
his name is, Strauss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Duncan
and he
Robinson
came
was
in and he
ball-
played
Those
lights
guys
out.
Good because of injuries. When we went over
Right.
Miami's roster in the beginning of the season, their bench was weak.
Yeah.
They had so many injuries along the way that those guys got significant time, and that
Yeah.
helped them so that when their team came back together, those guys had already had significant experience. If it wasn't for injuries, I don't know if we would have saw Strauss or whatever, whatever.
Strus or even Gabe Vincent.
I don't
Gabe
know.
Vincent looked good.
Right.
He
right.
played off
For
the
a
bench
few-
too. Yeah.
During the
Yeah,
season,
yeah.
he came
Backup
on during
point
the
guard.
season.
hmm
Yeah,
I liked his
and that
game.
is true. Keith Turner, Miami has an eye for talent. I think the Knicks are getting better in that. Well, I want to say they're getting better, but
What
about
you
to
about
say.
to
No,
say?
it's
I'm
it's
sorry.
true. It's true,
I thought you were
Queen.
gonna
One of
destroy
the
our
reasons
dude
one of the
player.
reasons why I think they got him better because they grabbed Walt Perrin from Utah, and I think that was a big acquisition to the team, to the organization also too,
but
because he has an eye for
Miami
talent.
get people off the playgrounds. Who is that guy?
Yeah, who's Gabe Vincent?
Saw
Well,
him on
I-
the playground, then they told one of Miami's assistant coaches about him or something. They brought him in the training camp or whatever, and next thing you know, he's on the team. I mean, like they be looking like that.
What player is that?
boy.
I forgot what his name was.
Talking
But
about the
these guys,
center?
no, not the center. He
I
was
know the center dude, like the Indian dude.
he was playing in
Indian
the
cat.
playground, and somebody saw him and knew somebody. I think it was with the Heat organization, and they brought him to training camp. But what I'm saying is the Heat, some of these players, they're not even first or second rounders. Like some of these guys, like where did this
They're
guy come
undrafted. Yeah.
from? Undrafted players. The Knicks are
Mhm.
getting better with their drafted players until this year. I think we could have done better. What's his name again?
Oh, don't blast
Who,
him.
Frank?
Don't blast
No.
him.
Who, Mills?
Our second
Mills?
round pick?
Keith.
No, she's talking about our second round pick, right?
Talk about Keels.
Kid.
Yes, Trevor Keels.
Told you.
Here.
He's 18.
He's
All right.
he's a lump of clay.
I told
He's
you
All
a
that
right.
he's
lump
not
of
ready,
clay.
yo.
He's not ready, no doubt about it. He's not, but that's all right.
That's all right.
I'm just saying.
Come
Not ready.
I
on.
Soto. I mean, we could have. Yeah,
Right. I
There
don't
were better
it's
options
still
out there. I
early.
would
like
It's
agree
when
still
there.
early.
during the draft, right? I really wasn't trying to crap on him. I really didn't get it. I did not understand that pick at
I could
all.
tell.
I was mad.
I,
I was mad. Like, we got Trevor Keels. It
Right.
makes no sense. He would get no burn on this roster for years.
Maybe they was
Two
Dallas liked
for
him. I know
years.
Dallas liked him, so maybe they thought if they did do a sign and trade that they could put him in there.
oh,
Yeah.
Maybe. I
Dallas could
maybe I
still come
wanted
and get him.
Hardy, and I was sad we didn't get him.
didn't.
But it is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, we don't want to talk about it.
The Knicks operate, and I get it. We needed to get off a lot of cap space. We needed to open
Right.
up cap space to sign Brunson. But when I see Miami draft, what's his name?
Jokic.
Jokic, whatever.
Jovic, right?
Jovic.
Dallas get what Handy. Atlanta gets Griffin. I'm like, we operating like we don't need talent here.
Yep. Didn't the Pacers get
That's why they were
Mathurin?
able to trade.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Pacers
got
that
Mathurin.
was
too.
that was at
I
number
think the Knicks
6
would have.
though.
That was at 6.
Yeah.
The Knicks, I think the Knicks would have made that.
We would have picked him. We would have picked Dyson Daniels. It's just no
No,
one
I
fell to
think we
us that
wouldn't
we
pick-
wanted, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was the plan. I don't think we could have. I think they needed that to make that move. Like, I don't think they would have drafted anybody. We just wanted them to.
Yeah, we needed
Well,
to cap
could
it.
be.
We needed to we needed these 3 picks. Shout out Nick Gat
Right.
for this trade that nobody wants to give up now. We just found these 3 picks on
That's
the
nuts.
street 2 months ago,
Right.
and now
We
people
don't want to give them up for Donovan Mitchell.
Well, that's the $20 bill y'all was
The
talking about
$20
last
bill,
night.
yes.
Yes.
I fell out. That was funny
Yes.
as
How you
hell.
pick up a 20, then all of a
Leave
sudden,
the
like, you don't
$2
want to give
alone.
up the 20. Like,
See.
they got these picks for this moment.
Yeah.
You know? All right.
Can't wait.
can't wait.
Yeah, anything
Bring
else?
Spider on.
I think at the end of the day, Spider will be here. I trust the Knicks organization. I think they're smart enough to make sure we have something less, and that's left. And that's what I'm focusing on. Not what we give up, but what are we going to have left to build this team, because it still needs building. And I trust that
Right.
that's what the Knicks organization is thinking as well. They got some smart, they built that front office right, and they got some smart people in there. And I think that's what the Knicks are thinking. What are we going to have left to be able to go out? Because even with Donovan, we're going to need a stretch 4, in my opinion. Obi nor Randall can hit both of them hitting it at 30%. My goodness.
Watch my boy Obi. He'll be at 35.
My goodness.
All right. But that's if
We got to do it, though.
get to
I know.
35%,
We good.
that
Anything under that.
be
That's the number.
fantastic. That's the number to be respected out there. 30, I mean, it's not that. I think the average is 36, 37 or something like that. What's the average? But 35 is right there.
That's
Now we could play Obi in the half court. Now we
Yes.
don't got to worry about, you got to pair them with IQ in order for. Nah, now you can hit the 3. You could play with anybody. Now
Yeah,
you don't have to run. You could even play in the half court if you could hit the 3.
That's true.
Mhm.
And Brunson gonna find him.
Looking forward to.
Yeah, he shouldn't have to be efficient just because he's playing with IQ.
Right.
Because IQ coming off the
Exactly.
bench, so I don't think he wants to be efficient just with him.
Right.
Unless he want to keep coming off the bench his whole career. You need to learn how to be efficient no matter who the point guard is.
Right.
I have a
Yeah.
question. Even though this might be going, this is all like
We're in the
hindsight.
barbecue section right now. You know how you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to the baby shower, and then after a while,
Yeah, yeah. After an hour, we just get to talking.
it turns into something totally different. That's what
Yeah,
we got
just
right now.
whatever you got,
I'm
just
cracking
bring
up.
it.
I just went to look at who else was available the second round when we picked,
Mm.
because I was being nosy, and I didn't remember. And I see, the cat that we ended up signing undrafted, for the little whatever little contract he got. He didn't get the two-way. It was just
Montero?
Montero.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. If we had drafted him in Keels' stead, would you have been equally upset?
I would.
I don't
No,
see anybody else on
yes.
here.
I
You
wouldn't
would
have
have
been
been upset?
equally.
I
No.
think he was a good prospect. It wasn't until Summer League Stafford that we was
Yeah,
like, all right.
Juan Montero. He was supposed.
Cause
Juan
I,
Montero
cause
was
I don't
projected.
know nothing about that guy until summer league.
Really? Yo,
So
he
yeah,
was
because I
projected
wouldn't
to
I
be
wouldn't know if
drafted.
I would have drafted him, yo.
I know people knew who he was. I think he just didn't get drafted maybe because of size and experience. But yeah, he was a household name in draft circles. He was on everybody's mock draft. He was supposed to get drafted. It was a shock that he didn't.
I remember seeing his name there at one point in one of the mocks that I was reading. I thought it was supposed to be like a low first rounder. So I was
He was supposed to be in
surprised.
the first round.
But having seen him,
hmm
do you think Trevor Keels is better than him?
No, still
Dang.
no.
But he's
Montero has a
okay.
better
Keels
feel
is
for the
so
game
young
still.
though. Agreed.
They're both still young. They're both the same age. They're both like 18. So I
I
think
didn't realize that.
Montero is like a real point guard. He just didn't have I don't think he had a good summer league, if that's what you're asking. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think
he
either one of
didn't.
them is ready. But I think Montero will be ready before Keels.
You
I mean, now look, for
now
Keels though, all Keels needs to work on. Oh, go ahead, Steph.
no, I'm go ahead. I'll
I
piggyback.
mean, all Keels needs to work on mostly is his body and his jump shot, and then he's fine. And then that floater that was broken to hell. I don't know what he was doing when he was flicking the ball up there
Yeah,
for them
yeah.
floaters. Those floaters were all clunks. But that said, all right, that's three things. But fixing your body, doable for an NBA player.
Okay.
I mean, just look at Julius, right?
Right.
The jump shot, he'll have plenty of time to work on that in the G League. Amen.
Right.
The floater, I don't know. I don't know. That one was, like I said, it was broke to hell. But if he fixes those two, rotation player, right?
Yeah, I do think Hills can become a good
Rotation
player.
player,
I see
because of the defense.
Montero just looks
Yes.
a little.
Slow.
He's not necessarily. He's light. For sure. He's
He
real
is.
light.
Very, very.
I don't
Mind
know.
you, he's an 18-year-old point guard. So
He's 8. Both of them are 18.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
You know what? Just
Right, a little too light for me and a little too thin in the
Like-
skin.
I guess I'm thinking about Montero when he gets like 21, 22.
I'm thinking about
Okay.
21, 22. I mean, he can play good defense. He has a really, really strong body.
Yeah,
You get that
6'5".
jump shot.
He could become a Grimes type,
It's
right?
like, nah, even with the jump shot, I don't.
It's all right. I don't see it. What's his position?
A 2.
Two,
He's a 2.
maybe a 3 on a very small lineup,
A
right?
3.
He's 6'5". He's a 2.
Yeah,
Maybe. I mean, Tibbs said
like Grimes.
play 3.
Now you think he like Grimes?
I'm saying that he's the same height as Grimes.
Yeah, he's definitely
And if
around the
Grimes
same
can-
height. Yes.
So Grimes can play spot minutes at the 3,
Uh-huh.
right? Therefore, Keels can play spot minutes at the 3, and
Okay.
he's strong.
He's
But
definitely
again,
strong, especially for his
I'm
age.
just again optimist. And I believe since he's a Duke player, I think RJ will take him under his wing. But there I go, saying I love RJ
Here
and
we
all
go
that.
with the
So,
Duke connection.
yeah, he's gonna bring his boy along.
Let's
Next
see.
year's summer league, come see me. Come see me, and
forget
then
about
I'll be.
Keels. You need to worry about if he could bring Cam along, since we talk about Duke alum. Like, let him bring Cam along first.
Watch him bring
True.
Cam. Amen. I
Gotta
can't
bring
wait
Cam
to
along
see it.
first.
Unless he gets in that trade.
Summer League. Let's take this question.
Okay.
McBride didn't impress you. In some ways he did, and in some ways he didn't.
Yeah.
I think
The first 3 games, no.
right. I think he impressed me with his efficiency. I think he was the most efficient player on the team. I
He
think he
was.
impressed me with the pull-up 3.
See, that's the thing. I already thought that he can do all that. It's just the other stuff he still doesn't know how to do. Like, Deuce is just not capable of doing certain things yet.
And it hasn't changed.
Right.
I was not
I
impressed.
think one of his weakness was trying to get
Getting
by
by his
past his man.
Yeah,
and
he'll never be able
couldn't
to
do that. He couldn't. There was no penetration to the basket. That's one of the things that we was looking for. But as Queen said, everything else we've seen already. The pull-up three,
Yeah, that's
the
what Jarrell said.
mid-range, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Everything, the defense, the intensity, the 90 feet defense, everything. But it's just that one thing he was lacking, the penetration and getting by his man.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, and his ball handling, he got stripped
Playmaking, yep.
his a
Couple
few times
times.
as well. And so, and there to me, there's no excuses, because when I look at Brunson,
That's the New Yorker in you. Go ahead.
right, when his handle,
You're right.
Brunson's
You're right,
handle,
Yeah.
and his craftiness and his ability
yo.
to get by defenders, and he's not fast, there's
Same
no
height.
excuse for McBride. Get
That's
that
true.
handle down pat. Get shifty, get crafty to be able. It's not just about speed, So
I think some players just have that. Some players just don't.
Mm.
Like, much as we like him, even if he does like succeed and be more efficient in other ways, he's never going to have the saucy handle.
But
Like
why,
this-
are you saying that? Okay, there's certain things I get that you're not going to be able to develop. You can't practice your handle. Can't get better.
I ain't seen nobody that handle got that better. Like, to me, say if you're a guard, right? Whose handle has you thought that was lackluster and all of a sudden got nasty?
Well, now I haven't seen it to that extreme, but I would say
In the
IQ's ball handle got
That's
better. Like his rookie year, it wasn't that great, but it was much better last year. Again,
Yeah.
his handle wasn't like killer, but it was more
Yeah.
serviceable than before.
I could see that. I could see more serviceable, but dude's got to be more serviceable at this point.
Right, because of his.
He's getting stripped in mid-court in the summer league.
I know, right.
So yeah, like he has
embarrassing
to get up like a couple notches for him to be like a starting point guard,
right,
or any type of point guard.
But Pete, why are we looking for too much if you're looking for your point guard to be able?
I'm glad you answered him.
I don't think that's too much.
Right, it's not too much for him not to be stripped in mid-court on the summer league, though.
And then he said, but I saw Grimes get past his I saw
his man, yes.
Grimes beat his man and get into the. And I agree with you, Pete. His he doesn't have the greatest speed either, but he used his handle and his shiftiness to be able to get by his guy and to get into the key.
Yeah, because
that was one of the things that we wanted to see. Grimes go into the hole even more, and we saw that because in his rookie year he wasn't doing that. In his rookie year, we only seen him pulling up threes and playing defense. So now coming into the summer league, to the second season, we wanted to see more of his game. So why wouldn't you want to see improvement in any of the players' game? It's not asking for too much.
Right.
If we're looking for improvement, and if you don't improve, why will we want you on the team? First of all.
And some of that improvement.
So Pete, you got to be realistic too, also, my brother.
Right. And some of that improvement isn't even necessarily skill based. A lot of the stuff Grimes was doing, I knew he can do that. It's a lot of have to do with confidence of what they ask him to do. Also,
to do it, I got you. Brunson doesn't blow by any. Well, he doesn't blow, but he gets in the key.
Gets to the basket almost every time he wants to.
If you speed by somebody, or if you're shifty, and that's how you get in, yeah, I agree. He doesn't blow basketball, but he gets in the key.
Yeah, we can't compare what Brunson does to McBride at all.
Right.
I would still say that I don't think that Deuce is a bad player, and I don't want Pete to think that that's what we're thinking. It's just he can't play point guard yet for the big club yet. Like maybe a couple spot minutes. Like I still like him with IQ and the maybe again if Donovan Mitchell and all that aside, off the bench I still like that unit because IQ can get to the paint and he can score. So he doesn't even have to really facilitate the same way. So at that point, like we saw for maybe a handful of games, we saw Deuce just playing off guard. He was playing the two.
Right. And he's a second round pick for sure. Like, I mean, I guess what you were saying is, what do you expect from a second round pick? You could still get better if you're a second round pick because the same fan base is saying, I don't know if it was you, Pete, the same a lot of players, fans were saying he should have been the starting point guard last year when Rose and what's his name went down. Now we're saying he's just a second round pick. What do you expect? Some people was saying that he should have gotten the backup minutes when Rose and Kemba went down.
Well,
I mean, and even second round pick as the example. I mean, Jericho showed way more in summer league.
right.
You saw. I mean, he showed a little bit of a handle. I mean, did a
And
crossover. I mean, we saw a lot from Jericho. The same second round pick who was drafted way later. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jericho.
I don't think we're dissing McBride here. We're not dissing him. All we're saying is that we needed him to be up more penetration to the basket. Otherwise, he did play well. He did look good. He was efficient. You know what I mean? But it's just one thing of his element, the game that we wanted to see. That's it. That's it. We never said that he wasn't good or he's not doing what he needed to do or he never improved from last year. He did. Go ahead, Jarrell.
I was just going to say a lot of people probably wanted minutes from Deuce. I wanted minutes from Deuce too, simply because I didn't want Burks as our point guard.
Same.
So just by that, I just wanted Deuce to get more minutes. But it's not like he showed when he did get the minutes, he didn't impress enough for him to force his minutes. So just because of that, then I can't fault Tibbs for not playing him. Not him. Like he's not the young. Like when we talk about play the young guys, he's not one of the young guys that should have got minutes.
Right. Shout out to Nick Yak. What do we think about this? He's ahead of Quickley at point.
Who?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And we don't even consider. I don't think many people consider Quickley as the ideal point guard, but I still would put him as a better point guard than Deuce at this stage. Most definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see Quickley as ideal point guard because of the shot selection, and he's always looking to make the big splash instead of just playing the position. You know, don't let him get a shot. Oh my God, you would think he hit 5 of them. He just, now
28-foot shots bother me.
Now he about to get in his bag off of one made 3-pointer. But if you ask me, I would still have Quickley ahead of McBride at this point.
And even that particular trait that you're talking about, it's a gift and a curse. You still want somebody on your team to do that. You just don't want it to be a starting point guard. That's all.
Right. And that's why
I come off the bench and start gunning, and
right. I would love IQ because IQ could play the backup 1 and the backup 2.
Right.
My only concern is that he's so light. We got 2 undersized point guard, and Quickley, even though he's 6'3", he's light. A light 6'3". I would like a little more height at the backup point guard, but he can play both positions.
Quickly, he's put on some muscle too.
He did. I've seen
pictures on Twitter.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with Keith Turner. Some Knicks fans make criticism of a player way too seriously, and I gotta agree with that statement right there.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we, as I said before, it's not like we dissing the young man.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? It's just elements of the game that we want to see to make the team better. That's all. And he could be better.
Right.
He definitely can.
And it takes a while for point guards, so we'll see. Maybe he should.
And that's not really his position, really. And Harlem Girl has said this in the past. Somebody else has said it in the past. He's a shooting guard in a point guard's body, a combo guard, but because of his height, he's kind of relegated to the point guard position. And so now you're asking him to learn certain things that maybe that's not what he was practicing in college because he was used different.
He was a combo guard in college.
Yeah.
But Queen, I want you to highlight Pete Pan, whatever his name.
He's here a lot, so I don't know.
No. The one before Quiet Money, right? That one.
Oh, Quiet Money.
How didn't Grimes didn't dominate, and he was one of the first team summer league of this year with the other players that was added, bro. Sometimes I don't get y'all comments, man. How was he not dominant? He may not be dominant for what you wanted to see, but he was. And the league, whoever picked him to be on that first team, picked him, right? So I don't agree with that statement, Pete.
Right. And I don't
What
think
do you
they had
think? What do you think about that statement, Queen?
listen, Grimes was inefficient, Pete. I'm not going to gloss over that. Grimes was inefficient. Took like 10 3-pointers a game, and he made like 3.5 on average. So he wasn't efficient, but you can look and see as far as his skill level that there was either some improvement, or those who saw him earlier would say that, you know, he had those skills. But let me just say this though. You can have a skill in high school and college. It doesn't mean it's going to translate to the next level.
That's
Right?
true.
Because you're going up. So, he was a good ball handler in high school. He used to be able to get to the rim in high school. There's things that I could do in the playground that I cannot do in the NBA. You know what I mean? So sometimes it doesn't translate. And now it's getting to the point where maybe it's skills he already had, being able to handle a ball, being able to shoot off the dribble, that's now translating, at least in summer league. Now we have to see it, you know, with the big.
Right.
But I agree, Grimes has to be a bit more efficient. You cannot be taking 10, 11 3-point shots and hitting 3 and be considered a knockdown shooter. He has to get better in that. However, I saw an improved handle. I saw him being able to use that handle to get by his guy, because he's not the fastest player in the world. I saw his playmaking. Now, you could see the vision was there, but the accuracy wasn't always there as well. So he has to get better, you know, at that. So, and I brought this up when we talked about Grimes on the Queen's Court when we went over the summer league. I do try to look at both sides. That being said, with all of that, I still think Grimes is ahead of McBride at his position, you know, at their respective position. And the same thing for Sims. You know, people said that he did the same thing in college. That's one thing, but being able to show it and do it on the next level says something.
Two different things
as well.
Yeah, so
You
Sims
know?
was doing something I never saw him do though. That step back that he took, I never seen him do that. I know
That
he's working on
between
his
the
game.
legs, that
Yes.
he's comfortable bringing the ball up the court. Sims is getting comfortable. He's getting confident. But I'm not going to hate on McBride. I just didn't like the fact he wasn't able to get into the key. But he was very efficient. He was able to hit shots off the, you know, off the dribble. You know, if you're looking for a backup point guard to manage, just come in, play good defense, initiate your offense, get the, you know, pass it to the wing, get it started. McBride can do that tomorrow.
Right.
Right. But if you're looking for somebody to get into the lane, draw the defense, kick out, get your wings,
that's not him.
That's not him.
Nope.
And we don't kill Grimes. McBride every day. Probably the other, pundits that you listen to probably kill him. You know what I mean? But we don't kill McBride. I never did. You know, and I'm sure this panel never did either. So we don't kill the young man. We just want him to improve, and that's all we're saying. And we are fair with our comments when it comes to everyone. You know, Queens just said it. Grimes wasn't efficient from the 3. He was making 10 shots. Made 10 shot 10 shots, but only made 3. That's being fair right there. Same thing with Sims. He was doing double in the first 2 or 3 games. The other couple games he kind of died down. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody's gonna go through their points. You know what I mean? As far as players not being consistent.
Right.
Right.
And good point to Captain and Coke 70. Grimes is gonna be more efficient during the regular season because he's not going to be taking 10 shots.
That's
Mhm.
exactly
You
right.
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And this is a good point looking at Grimes. This is a good point for us to keep in mind when we see players in these small sample size, 5 minutes a game, 10 minutes a game, 12 minutes a game, and they do well. And you automatically think if you expand their role or their time to 25 and 30 minutes, you're going to get that same efficiency. A lot of times when your volume goes up, your efficiency goes down, So Grimes, I think, is going to be fine because he was going to be a little smaller. He's not going to be chucking up 10 shots. So I think he'll be much more efficient in the regular season. But I was also concerned about Grimes shooting 68% from the free throw line, which is what he shot last season.
Yep.
We got to get people that can shoot. Like, we can't talk about knockdown shooters and you can't hit a free throw.
You're right. You got to
that
hit your
shocked
free
me.
throws.
Right. Other than IQ
That kind of
and
shocked me
Brunson,
too.
Yeah.
who on this team would you count on making a free throw at the end of the game?
Brunson,
yeah.
Brunson and
Fournier could make some free throws.
Yeah,
At least if he could play some defense, he could make his free throws.
Fournier, IQ, and Brunson.
Oh yeah, and IQ.
Yeah.
He's wonderful.
IQ definitely.
Yeah.
From free
Yeah.
throws.
IQ definitely.
Everybody else gotta get some work in on them free throws.
Yeah.
Maybe I should coach the team for a little bit.
Yeah, we did. we did floor ceiling on the Queen's Court. The ceiling, we ain't gonna reach that ceiling, whatever it was, if you're not hitting free throws.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
And I think the same captain. Go ahead, Jarrell.
I was saying, especially the ceiling that I had them at. I had them at either a 5 or 6. So yeah, in order for us to get to that high,
Donovan.
That's without.
I let him slide.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. I was there with you, Jarrell. I was there with you, Tony. Yes.
5 or 6 without Donovan.
Without him.
Wow. Everything would have to break right.
Everything.
Everything would have
That's
to
when Star J plays like Star J, and he averages like 89 a game.
And Randall.
89 a game.
Slight exaggeration. No, in all seriousness, like 25 or 26.
Don't let me walk back my own tape.
No, realistic, I would say like 25, 26 points, for him, because I can see him doing that. All he has to do is fix his efficiency, like you have been stressing, Queen.
Right.
And I agree with you, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes those free throws. Come on. It was right there. That's why, and we saw it from January on. But, we got to see it through when the league is game planning against them all the time. But that was the good thing, that they started changing and stopped focusing on Randall. And the defenses were starting to key in on him. But anyway, go ahead.
RJ make his free
the next point I wanted to say also too, just back to the summer league real quick, and then we could move on. Is that Captain and Coke 70 said the summer league is just a league where you could improve your game, right? So as Queen was saying, when it comes to the regular season, he's not going to be hitting those 10 shots. They just go in there to improve their game, see what they did over the summer, and the coaches is watching, to see if you could be one of those rotational players on the big squad.
Right.
That's all the summer league is for, to see how how you did over the past summer by improving your game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The interesting part is, well, we never know. Depending on the trade, there might be room for Sims. Depending on the trade, if a trade goes through and we lose some guys, other guys may move into the rotation. As it seems right now, I don't really see, as good as Sims looked in summer league, I don't really see. I see him being situational.
Right.
Yeah. But with Mitch on the squad, he'll miss a game or two, and we'll get to see Sims some.
Mitch gonna be on the floor by the third quarter of the first game of the season.
Don't say that.
He's gonna hit the floor at least once.
So I got a question.
Hit the floor. Okay. Yes, he will.
I got a question with one of
over under 2 times a game.
Right.
With one of our summer league players. Now, if we were to get rid of Cam, do you see Farron Hunt making the first team, the big team, Farron Hunt?
For me, this goes to a Donovan Mitchell question, and I'm sorry to say that, but I think Eric Pascal might be someone that we bring on. I know this name's been bandied about a bit lately, and I think he's better than Farron Hunt, maybe a little bit better. But if we don't do that, then I could see us using Farron Hunt.
Isn't Pascal a little thick though?
Yeah.
I like how you phrased that.
Well,
It's wonderful.
I guess I
Let
would
me-
say yeah. I mean, yeah, Steph setting this up, Staf. Are you here, yo? We gotta
I
call
thought
that dude
Pascal was
on
a
the-
four,
on YouTube.
but can play 3-4.
He's like a 3-4.
He could play
He
three.
plays a 3.
He
Plays a
can,
3.
but yeah, 3-4.
Wow.
My only
Fair
issue
enough.
with him, my
Hey, Sean,
only issue with him is his 3-point shot. But otherwise, he does the intangibles. He runs the floor. He plays excellent defense. I think he had like 7 steals in one of the first games.
6'6". I didn't even know he was that
and,
tall.
and,
He's
and, and he's very active, right? So
155
with that being
pounds.
right, so with that
Wait,
being said, do
what's
you see him as a rotational player if we get rid of Cam?
Hunt, I don't know.
I see Hunt and I know this was a
situational?
question, but Pascal being two totally different type of players, though.
They are two different.
And
players.
listen, let me tell you, we'll have room for both of them, depending on who
Yes,
goes.
we do.
to this,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't
maybe a
know.
whole.
I see Hunt as more of an energy player.
I see Hunt. Honestly, to me, I see Hunt as a player that should stay in the G League.
All right.
I think we can. I think we should be able to sign somebody that's a free agent if we get rid of, like 2 or 3 players on the
Oh,
roster.
in this picture, I see your point. I must be misremembering.
Yeah, he looking like a linebacker. You know?
He does. Got the Jericho Sims shoulders. That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I
But-
think it
but
would have to be.
6'6". Go ahead.
I was just gonna say to answer Stafford's question. I think a lot will have to happen in order for Hunt to get major minutes this year.
Yeah, I see him.
Injuries,
Guy.
stuff like that. Like a lot of stuff got to
No,
happen.
I mean he could be like the 13th, 14th player on the squad.
Yeah, I can see
know,
that. I can see that.
Something like that,
Okay.
I think we keep him as a 2-way. I
Jerome,
mean, we'll be able to use
That's
him.
what you say. I don't even see that.
I'm about to say 13, 14 player. I don't even want to talk about nobody down there.
But with him being on a 2-way, I mean, he could play 55 games, right? I believe, with the big club.
Yeah.
So I think we'll
Yeah.
keep him right where he
The
is. We might be
I
able
would
to
not
find.
know.
I remember when
The fact that we even talk about 2-way players. Like, all right. Like, they even taking
No, because there's a fair-
They
no,
talk
because
about
Jarrell-
Jericho. That's the only reason I
No, but
vaguely
Jarrell,
remember. He's a 45, 55.
there is a Fahrenheit hive now.
There
Don't get me
is,
wrong
but-
now. There is a Fahrenheit hive.
jersey for us.
I subscribe to every hive that plays for everybody who's on the New York Knicks. But
There's a hive for
But-
everybody on our team. There's a
there's a grime time.
There's a Keels a hive right now too.
Wait.
Oh
is it just
no,
me?
not me. I ain't
Not,
with
not,
that
Is it
one.
just
not
me?
anybody up here, but I'm
think
pretty
it's
sure
me.
there is one.
I didn't know. I thought, the founding mother, the founding person, but of the Keels hive. But look, I do not think that we need to have him in our rotation at all.
who's this?
I think we can do better. Not Pascal, I promise. Hunt.
No, Pascal is a good defense. And listen, he played with Brunson, but he's
Yes, he
also
did.
Donovan Mitchell's a good friend of Donovan Mitchell's as well.
Mhm.
Yes.
But I just want to bring this up real quick. This reminds me of Frank Ntilikina. When I first started being on MBK, I said, this is the rule from now on. You cannot give a player more talk time than minutes. We talked about Frank. He got 30 seconds. We were talking about him for 20 minutes.
Right. Exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm over here just laughing.
So yeah, nah, you're right. I see him. I can see him as a 12th, 13th, 14th player. I can. But
Who else
you
is
can
left?
tell that what he was able to do in summer league. I'm not sure how much of that he would be able to do in the NBA, but he can run. He can jump. Yeah.
He made me
Great
really
defense.
sad in that last
Pretty
game,
good
though.
defense, too.
Like
Played good
his
defense,
defense
yes.
was bad in the last game. everything fell apart on him. He scared me. I'm just being real. So he kind of lost me. I know it's one game,
Right.
but that game was for all the marbles. That boy was nervous. Sims made a face, and Sims's face is at all times.
All time.
But he looked mad at Hunt, and that was like, oh, you pissed him off.
Yeah, Sims looked mad at
Goodbye.
you. You did something wrong for real.
Right,
If you
right.
get anything out of him.
Yes,
Right.
that was enough for me. Like, so that's why I'm kind of off Hunt's little bandwagon. But I will support him if he sports the blue and orange, and hopes he gets 20 points or whatever. Like, I want wins.
No, I ain't think he gonna reach that goal. Not 20 points. He might get about 4 or 5 steals, but with that 3-point, with that awkward 3-point shot he have, no sir.
Do you remember when he played for us last year though? Because I think some people forgot because he played with us because we were
he was on the big team. Yeah,
and he
the
could
last
not
10
make
games.
a basket.
Right.
Yeah,
couldn't
but
make a
you can see
basket.
it. You can see all his baskets in the summer league was to the rim and dunks.
He
Although
missed
he
the
had
dunk
1 or
in
2
the regular
3-point.
season.
I
Go
get
ahead,
that.
I'm sorry.
Even though he made couple 3-point shots in the summer league, it still wasn't efficient. He was probably like 2 for like 20 or something like that. I'm talking about for all the games. So as far as his 3-point shot, that wasn't it. But you see running and dunking and layup and showing out and all of that. He could do all of that. But we need shooters. And if you can't shoot, bro, I don't think
We're gonna.
I don't know. Yeah. So I agree with
this.
Go ahead, Queen.
No, finish.
Yeah, so I don't see him. I mean, although 13th, 14th man, but probably rarely spot minutes. Rarely. I'm talking about at the end of the bench spot minutes, garbage time. That's how I see him. I'm sorry, Hunt fans, but that's how I see him right now.
Right. Nick Yak, and this is for most of the fan base. Who else at 3 you playing besides Cam and Hunt? We got to keep in mind, we don't have to pick just from the Knicks.
Right.
We're part of the NBA. You know, like there are other teams and there's free agency, the buyout market. You know, later on in the season, there's the trade deadline. So a lot of times we think, how are we gonna fill our roster? If we give away, we ain't gonna have there's other players out there we can get that's not on the Knicks right now. I think, you know, if we give up Cam, we have to go out and get I think RJ is going to play 3 if we get Donovan.
Right.
I think he starts at the 3. Yeah.
But we still need to go out and get a backup 3.
Right.
You know, and it may not be on this team or in the G League or from the summer league. We could go out and get somebody else.
They might be in Utah.
Pascal, 6'6", 255 pounds. He's like a PJ Tucker type.
Right.
Yeah, can he hit
that
the
makes sense.
You know,
can he make the 3?
What I would love for us to
Look at his
do
stats.
is to somehow get Bogdanovich too in the trade. But I know no one's really talking about it, and it looks like he probably wouldn't be involved because he's expiring. And Utah probably
didn't
wants
he
to
sign
keep
with
him.
somebody else?
He's still there.
That's not the one that came off the. That's not the one that came off the ACL injury.
That's Atlanta's Bogdanovich. They have I forget that cat's
you
first
thinking
name.
about Joe Ingles? Remember, he got hurt too.
That's right. He did.
Okay.
But he had got traded though. Like they traded him anyway.
Right, they traded, but then I think he signed with somebody else though.
I think
he signed with somebody else. But go ahead, bowling chick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, our players aren't great to dribble hard well, and I just don't think we have good shooters either. But go ahead.
That's why, I think Bogdanovich would be perfect to have on our team too. I don't know what else we would have to let go. Maybe if they'd be willing to take on my boy Reddish in conjunction with the other pieces that we're moving. Then maybe they'll be willing to flip Bogdanovich over, since the salary. I'm not sure how the salary works out in case anyone's looking at that. But I'm saying if we could get that solves our problem. He could play some 4 and some 3, right? Bogdanovich is a small 4, very small defense, 4.
Though, like, is there any concern about our defense if we do have of Donovan and Brunson. Now, I'm not saying it's a major concern, but I think it's a fair point. And I
It
think you got
is.
to be careful how you construct the rest of the roster. And it's very hard to find shooters who also play good defense. There's 3-and-D guys.
Yeah.
We bring in
They're
Bogdanovich.
coveted.
Bogdanovich is an okay defender, though. I think he's an okay.
He was solid. Sometimes they had him guard the best player the year before last. Last year,
Even so, I still think like if they do us to like say for instance there was a small point guard on the other team but a big two guard on the other team, they could always switch and post either one of them up and shoot over them. I think Mark made that point yesterday also too, right?
Yeah,
Even though they're short, they can still shoot over them. So that's only the little concern I have with them when it comes to, with
it's
their
going to
height.
help us the other way around too,
I'm about to
because
say,
those big guys are not going to be able to keep we'll see depending on who it is. Brunson may have an advantage, and Donovan may also have an advantage on the other, and it offset.
To me, what people
Yeah, of course, because it might work out to be the same thing where they post up the same play, the other short, smaller point guard on the other team also too. You're right, but somebody like, let's say my boy from Boston, what's his name?
Marcus Smart.
Tatum, or even Smart.
Yeah.
Or, let's say Tatum, right? And they switch.
Tatum's
I mean, that's right. That's posting up right there and taking them to the basket.
That's when you got to
understand what I mean?
Got to double, get the ball out of their hands, and then they swing it around that they missed the 3-point shot. The Knicks, they're gonna have to. I mean, Tibbs supposedly a defensive coach. He's gonna have to come up with something when they try to take advantage of those two guys.
Well, that's the hold on, Queen. Before you say that, that's the other thing that we mentioned last night too, is that Tibbs defense is a lot of help defense, and then when we go and we help, that's when the 3-point line is open, and they be banging them threes on us sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? So that's that's another thing also too. We need help on that perimeter, faster help, I should say.
And that's the thing. Grimes is our best perimeter defense. If he goes in that trade, when we bring in people in, we got to think perimeter defense. But I will say about Boston, Boston presents that problem for a lot of teams because 1, 2, if they play Tatum at 3, those guys are all switchable and they can all hit the 3. And that just creates a different type of challenge. They have two-way players and at multiple positions, and a lot of teams don't have that. We don't. That's what I would hope. Yeah, I would hope. I think. Well, I don't want to bring this up because I don't want people to go crazy, but I'll say it low. I think Randall has the potential to be a two-way player, but I don't think the desire and the effort and the commitment.
I was just about to say is the effort
and the commitment.
Is the effort. You're right.
I like his on-ball defense.
I'm not really overly concerned about the defense because I think Tibbs is a good defensive coach. If you look at Brunson last year, he's had a backcourt mate of Luka Doncic that did not play defense at all, and they were still top 10 in defense as a team. Donovan Mitchell, I know his defense might have, been lackluster the past couple of years, but he's also had to shoulder a lot of the offense on Utah. Before he didn't have to do that, he was a very good defender when he first came into the league. So I don't think either one of them would be a pushover on defense because even though they're short, they're both strong. They both know how to play defense, and Tibbs know how to coach defense. We have Mitchell Robinson. Y'all like Mitch, right?
I do.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all like Mitch, and Mitch is on the floor because he plays good defense, right? So, yeah, I don't think anybody should be overly concerned. Not saying it won't be a concern at all, but if we were 11th last year with players like Kemba and Fournier in our starting backcourt, you cannot tell me Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell is going to be worse than them.
I agree, and I think Donovan has been hearing all this crap that we've been Go ahead.
No, but Jarrell, we talking about as far as the perimeter. When they come into the paint, yeah, they got to see Mitch. That's
Mhm.
all well fine and dandy, but we talking about that perimeter defense when they switch and they
Mhm.
kick it out to those, and we come in, we double.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? And they kick it out to those 3-pointers. That's where we need the help at, because Mitch can't be out on the perimeter and be in the paint at the same time. And that's how we lost some of the games last year too, because they will pull Mitch out the key, right, and
Right.
then penetrate and get a basket.
But Staf, that's
So
just
we
playing good defense, though. People are saying they're too small. That's two different things. Like, I don't know, they can still play good perimeter defense as being short players.
I
Like we
think
was
it's
talking about
50-50,
people
Jarrell.
overpowering. We was talking about people overpowering Donovan Mitchell, not the perimeter defense. They're not overpowering him out there. So if there's somebody gonna post him up, I don't see I don't see players doing that. Like what two guard is killing Donovan Mitchell like
Yeah,
night in night
I'm
out?
not worried about the post ups either. And that's one thing about the NBA now. Back in the day,
It's different,
90s,
completely
they would go
different.
to that. They would find out where was the mismatch, and
Mismatch.
that's where they would go time and time again.
Right? They don't do that anymore,
They wouldn't
though.
let no short guy play free. Nah, we're gonna post
No
you up
way.
every time. We're gonna take advantage of that. You don't really see that now. Like I
Nope.
don't see people posting up Brunson time and time again. But the shooting over the top, that's legit.
Yeah.
You That's legit. No doubt about it. Harlem Girl asked, "Are we concerned about the lack of athleticism in that starting unit?" Now I don't know. Well,
With
let's just
Mitchell?
do it without Donovan.
Oh,
Brunson, Fournier, RJ, Randall. Yeah.
as you keep going, it gets sadder and sadder, right?
And Mitch.
It gets less
Mitch got
unathletic and less unathletic.
Right.
Mitch is the only one with the athleticism. In, in that,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah. It's going to be a
Well,
different type of team. And I think if you put Donovan in over Fournier, you're going to get more athleticism. I don't even think you're going to get much more if you put Grimes in over Fournier.
no,
Yeah, that's true.
they're about the same.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. They are about the same. But I don't know if I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the lack of shooting
Hmm.
in that lineup. I think Fournier will give you, if Grimes is there, and to me it's a difference between being able to hit a shot, hit a three, and being a 3-point shooter. I think it's just two different things. So I'm a little concerned about that. Let's just see. We weren't a very efficient team
Yeah.
shooting wise and 3-point wise. I think what raised our team field goal percentage was Obi and Mitch. And Sims
Right.
shooting 65, 70, 80% from underneath the rim made it look better than it was. But when you just talk about our wing players, we were not good shooters.
Right.
So
That goes for even a. I don't know. Fournier shot pretty well, but even Quenton Grimes, like, I mean, he shot well too, and plus it looks pretty. That's what a lot of people see. But he shot a little under 40% too, and he was a rookie, so he can shoot, but that just remains to be seen if he's going to still be here.
right. Anything else on anybody's mind? The chat, you guys have any questions? Anything you want to
No, I think everybody's just waiting for this trade, whether it's going to happen or not.
and no layup makers. We are not good at the rim. Neither RJ or Randall is good at the rim.
Right. So what
Last,
it
No, it's
sound
just our
like when
centers.
season.
we can't shoot or make layups? That's great.
Yeah. But that's last year. The summer league is where we get a chance to see what the young players have worked on. Preseason is where we get a chance to see what the older players, the vets, have
Right. Worked
worked on.
on.
And I'm really looking forward to. Matter of fact, is there any one player you're most looking forward to seeing how their game develop over the
Oh
summer?
boy.
For me personally, honestly, IQ.
Okay.
Yeah, because we
I agree.
haven't seen anything with him.
I,
But
I
I
seen a
wanted
He's
to
in the
couple.
build.
lab.
I seen a couple workouts where he working on some stuff, especially
Mhm.
late in the shot clock stuff. I seen a lot of that. He was working on that a lot. Yeah, and they posted it.
Mm.
He was doing pretty good, but this is a workout.
It
Like
would have been
we have to
Grimes if
see.
we hadn't seen him in summer league for me, but
Okay.
maybe Obi
Yeah, I haven't
to see
seen
what he
Obi do
brings.
anything.
No,
Well,
well,
he's
I
playing
mean,
in
in
down in
the Drew
Miami right
League, in the
now.
Drew League,
Yeah,
yeah,
Right.
with Garland,
with
and
with
he's been he's
Garland.
been he's been
Yeah.
looking all right, you know.
Just
You
recently
know,
though, but before that,
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't see Obi pick up. Like they didn't show him. I'm pretty sure he's been working on his game, but they haven't said anything about him. That's all.
yeah.
And I want to know, what is Cam doing? I haven't heard anything from Cam this offseason,
My
except for
boy stay
Mm.
seeing him
quiet.
I see him in the summer league and just chilling, but I haven't seen him with a basketball in his hand. And I actually think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just a question mark.
So,
What's gonna
so
happen?
Queen, let me ask you this real quick, and I need you to do me a favor. Is there
Mhm.
any way that you could bring up next year's free agents?
There is
There's something behind that. That's why I want you to pull it up.
yeah, I don't think there's any good ones.
Yeah,
So that
because we
whoever
already
we
had a
get,
look.
I think we're gonna have to get them through a trade. Because when I'm looking at the free agents for next season, yeah, I got them up.
Okay.
LeBron,
So,
Brunson. Go ahead.
say out the names.
This is for next summer. LeBron
Right.
James, Russell Westbrook, Chris Middleton, Harden, Kyrie Irving, Porzingis, Wiggins, Russell, D'Angelo Russell. I mean, Nikolai Vucevic, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Grant, Miles Turner, Bojan Bogdanovic, Karis LeVert, Gary Trent Jr., Derrick Rose, Christian Wood, Patrick Beverly, who I would love on this team. The other one that's not a good shooter though. His 3-point shot has actually gotten
It's
better.
gotten
Josh
better.
Hart,
Mhm.
Kelly Oubre, Cade Cutton. They're gonna pick up that option.
Josh Hart's a good
I like
good
Josh
role player
Hart
for
too.
us. Mhm.
Yeah.
So the only
Uh,
reason why I said that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't get, let's say we don't get Donovan, do you see anyone? Not saying they're gonna move the needle, but to improve the team
We
that
don't have
we
any
could go
money
ahead.
in free agency next season. Because
Mm,
remember, we getting Donovan, it would be a trade. We don't have the kit. We're
mm.
not going to have cap space next summer unless we create it by
and
getting
trade
both
Julius.
contracts, right? And I don't see anybody who you think Chris Middleton would come to the Knicks. I don't
No,
think so. I don't see Porzingis.
maybe, but I
Uh,
don't know how that would go. It'd be
Maybe.
interesting.
Right, right.
I
Wiggins.
think.
See,
Yeah, go
here's the
ahead.
thing. Everybody loves our young players, right? Play the young kids, right? Those are our free agents. We need to worry about developing them because we got to pay all of them. So
No, we're not paying all of them, Jarrell.
I know, but
Some of
that's
them
the
has
point.
to go,
That's what I'm
bro.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the point. Like we can't even think about getting a free agent next year.
Right.
We
But
got
I
to pay RJ.
right. I think that's part of the conversation now. When they're thinking about who to include in the deal, they're thinking about if we keep him, we're going to have to pay him. Is this
Right,
something we're going to have to pay? Do we wind up having to flip him for, for somebody else?
right. Like Obi and IQ are both first round picks that are going to get paid at the same exact time.
At the same
Yeah.
exact, which is next summer. They're going to be
Mhm.
in the same boat RJ is in
Right.
now. Next summer, both of them.
And now is actually RJ and Cam. Then after that is Obi and IQ, and then after that is Quenton Grimes. Right,
Right.
the very next year. So
Right.
I
everybody keep
still
talking
think
about the young
Cam.
kids, young kids, young kids. All these young kids have to get paid. They're not gonna stay young forever.
Right.
I still think Cam is a trade bait. He may not go in this deal, but he could go in a separate deal by the deadline.
That's why I feel like we're gonna still whoever doesn't go in the that's why
Bless
whoever
you.
doesn't go
Thank you.
in the trade, they'll be either we're gonna keep them or they'll be assets for another move.
Yeah, because we don't have. You just said it. We don't have no money. So where are we going to find the money to pay Cam when we got to pay RJ?
We'll find a way. No, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean, to be
Let
honest,
Cam
that's how you
ball
got to
out.
think,
so I
though.
mean,
Let
look,
Cam ball out
I'm
first,
not
and then
hating
we
on
can
Cam
worry
at
about
all.
that.
Because that's
Sorry, go
something
ahead.
Leon
Listen, if
Rose
this
is.
trade goes through, we might need him.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
he's
Yeah,
not
that's
in,
true.
If Grimes
But
is traded, Cam's gonna have to step up, and he will. Again, I'm a believer
you're
here.
He
you're
better.
so confident in that.
My 3 kids:
Okay.
RJ, Reddish, and well, it's mostly those two. But I
But
love the other
I
ones.
I, th- I thought I thought you
Obi.
was
Oh,
literally
so
talking
Obi is
about 3
third.
kids.
Oh hell no, I don't have any kids.
no, Stafford, but that's not even for the sake of the Knicks. Like Cam needs to ball out for the sake of himself.
No,
True. That's
which
why
is
he
true.
will.
Like
Which
regardless
is
of where he
true.
play.
But it's still ifs,
Yes,
as Queen started the show earlier. If
Yeah.
definitely
this,
if.
if that, if this, if that, we don't know. So let's see.
now
And we traded a first round pick for him. Go ahead, Queen. Sorry.
this is a good point by Old Head, but our young players aren't worthy of big deals coming off the bench. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. If we trade
Exactly.
Donovan Mitchell, that starting lineup, how many Brunson is at point guard? How many minutes is left behind him?
Right. That starting
Donovan
five is set.
Mitchell is at the 2 if we get him. How many minutes is left behind him? RJ Barrett is at the 3. How many minutes is going to be left? Randall, if we keep him at the 4, how Mitch, maybe you could get some minutes from
Yeah, you gonna get
but those
minutes
first
from
4
Mitch.
players, there's not going to be a lot of minutes behind them.
And look at who our coach is.
Right.
He
So
gonna run them. Like all of them are going to play over 32 minutes a game.
correct. So now you got these guys playing behind them. They only get in anywhere from 12 to 16 minutes. Even 16 is a lot. That means that the starter played 32 minutes. All right, possible. 12 to 16 minutes, and you're going to have to pay them. I just think there's cheaper options.
Yep.
Well, I don't know about cheaper because they're on their rookie deals. But I mean, going forward, when
Going
it's
forward,
time,
yeah.
it's time.
But knowing how Leon Rose is moving very kind of stingy,
Mhm.
so we'll see. We'll see, because he's being very frugal, and even though I like it, it's still being very what I should say, cautious, or not spending the money wildly,
Mhm.
or just not doing anything stupid like
Yeah, he's
past
frugal.
regimes. So yeah.
David L., what I would say is I'm not even sure about that because RJ, so we're talking about better, not necessarily finishing, just better at getting to the rim. You might have a point. But once you throw the finishing part in there, I don't know. I would have to look at the stats because RJ is in the 12th percentile for his position at finishing at the rim, which is very low.
Yeah,
And Randall as well is very low as
when it
well.
comes to finishing.
They both under 20% in the 20th percentile, which means 80% of the players at their position finishes at the rim better than they do.
He said not finishing, just attacking.
Right. That's what he's saying. Just
Yeah,
attack.
he said.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
that,
attacking.
that
Okay,
was it.
okay,
Next comment.
okay.
That makes sense.
Got you. Got you.
Can I throw a non-Knicks comment from me
Yes.
out real quick?
Mhm.
I saw the comments in the chat asking about my bowling average, and I'm not going to ignore them. I can't respond on my computer, so I'm
Okay.
gonna just say now. Once COVID happened, I actually stopped bowling. But before that season finished out, I was at 212. I have averaged 200 for like the last 5 years prior to that. So I do
Nice.
this.
Now, she's talking that talk. I like that. I like when people
Well,
talk
I
that
got
talk.
mad when I saw 141. I was like, huh? My family watches
Yeah.
this. They know better.
I get it. Yeah. I like that. See, I like when the competitive juices start running. You said I bowl how much? Yeah, I like that. Like that.
141.
Talk your talk.
How
Jerry
you average that? Go
Chicheski,
ahead.
Cam is better than
Cam
RJ.
better than
Listen,
RJ.
I
At what?
think I think Cam may have a higher ceiling than
Yeah.
RJ.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's
I like
about
that,
what you're
yes.
actually doing on the floor.
Right.
And I would take RJ over Cam.
Right.
From what
I was just about to
What
say
good
that
is the
because
ceiling if you can't get to the attic?
right. No,
He can't even
I
get.
like that.
He
I like
ain't gonna
that.
get there.
third floor.
Right. He not gonna get there. He's
and
stuck on the second
and
floor
Cam
right
was
now.
picked what 11.
8th, 9th, 11th.
Something like that around there.
I don't know.
10.
The
So
low
but
end of the
what
lottery.
no,
10.
but what I'm saying though, if he was that good, he would have got picked more higher, right? So at least RJ was the consensus at 3.
Yeah.
You understand
Cam
what I'm
was
saying?
more
So
of a
if Cam
question
was
mark.
so
Can be. I
that's
agree with that.
Right.
He can be.
It's up here.
But this is the question. How much faith, this is for the panel and those in the chat. How much faith do you have that now I'm one to believe that the longer you're in the league, the more you can see what a player is gonna be. And the chances are if you 5 years in the league already and you ain't get there yet and you're not showing that those flashes, it's hard for me to bet that it's gonna come in year 8. You know what I mean? It's just hard for me to think that. But my question is, how confident are you that Cam will reach his ceiling?
oh boy.
I
You
go
know,
Ooh.
honestly, not
Who's going
confident at all.
first?
I ain't confident at all because Queen, you just said it before. How much more minutes is behind all of these players, right? So if RJ is playing the 3 and Cam is coming in to back him up, and we only have 48 minutes in the game, and RJ is playing 32, that's what 14 minutes. Is my math correct?
Say that
14
again.
minutes.
Right.
Is it
What was the
14
metric?
minutes Cam will get
Yes.
behind RJ 32?
32, he would get 16.
16.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So within those 16 minutes, he will really have to show what he has, as far as scoring the 3, playing perimeter defense, and doing all the other intangibles. Now, can he reach his ceiling with 16 minutes? Maybe, or may, so it's like a toss up. I'm with Jarrell. I'm not really confident. That's what I said. Probably by trading deadline, if he doesn't show some type of something different and bring something different to the team, I think he's going to get traded by the deadline.
Yeah. But people talk about playing time as if it's the coach or the system or the organization holding you back. Sometimes players are not getting playing time for a reason. They're practicing with their teammates as well. And there may be something that the coach is seeing that this guy is not it, or this guy is not gelling with the rest of the team for whatever reason, or we got that already and we don't really need that in this particular lineup. So it's not all the time, oh, he's not getting minutes, he's not getting minutes, the coach is holding him back. Sometimes you're not getting minutes, for other reasons as well. And keep in mind, he played 25 minutes a game with Atlanta.
And how much points was he? How much points was he averaging at that time?
I think the issue with Cam is when you look at his games played, it looks like Brogdon. 36 games, 19 games. And when I saw that recently, I was like, wow, he really has a hard time staying healthy.
Yeah.
I mean,
watched.
that's true.
I'm about to say I watched Cam play basketball for a very long time. I am not confident at all.
And
that
you've
he will reach
been
his
watching him since he was what?
About 14, 15. Just because
Wow.
I live in Pennsylvania. So he was Mr. Basketball in Pennsylvania when he was in high school. So I watched him play high school, and he's always had all the talent in the world, but he's the same things that we say about Cam is the same thing people say about him in every level.
Wow, even in high school they were saying that, and he was Mr. Basketball?
Yeah, like, but he's so talented. Couldn't nobody guard Cam? Like, Cam was a walking bucket when he was in high
Yeah.
school. Like, couldn't nobody stop him? He was still 6'8". He looked exactly the same. Like, he was a early bloomer. Like, he was 6'7", 6'8" as a sophomore, junior, and senior in high school, killing everybody. Like, can nobody guard him? But it's still like the still motor, the 1-2 and all that is the same. It's been the same.
And I think I've asked this question before. How many players have come in with a reputation of not having a good motor and has changed that
It
perception?
never changes. That's why
I
I'm
don't
not
know. It's
confident in it. It
very
never
rare.
changes. And that's in every sport, not just basketball. That's just an athlete, not an app. That's an athlete thing. That doesn't. You can't teach that.
I can't think of a player, Queen.
Jarrell, is he a worker? Like
What do you mean?
Kerry Cooper asks, I don't think Cam wants to put in the necessary work. He thinks his talent is enough. From what you've known about him, is he somebody who does get in the gym? Like we see Obi, IQ, RJ, those
Yeah,
guys we know are workers.
I know he'll get in. Yeah, he gets in the gym. I think Cam can and has been getting better when it comes to like technical stuff, but it's the other stuff. Like it's the mental stuff. He can't stay healthy ever. But his motor will always be in question. But he does get into the gym. I wouldn't say that he does not work on his game. He definitely does. I wouldn't go that far. Like he's not a lost cause. In that case, I wouldn't be talking about him at all if I didn't think he
Right.
got into the gym. He's still a player and he will still be a professional and all that. But will he reach his ceiling is the question. Like his ceiling is high as hell. Like but
Yeah.
his talent level, for him to reach his ceiling, he has a lot of work to do mentally. It's not just going and getting into the gym.
Right. That's a very good point. Ohead, I appreciate this comment. Sometimes the great ones, I'm not saying he's great, but sometimes the great ones make it look easy.
That's true.
Kevin Durant makes it look easy. You turn on the TV, you may think he's not even working
Right.
hard.
He got 28.
He just makes it look easy. So I
Right.
do agree. But what I'm getting is from at least Jarrell, who's watched him since he was 14, that this is not the issue with Cam, right? That he is playing hard and he is, all in. He's just making it look easy. That's not the issue with him. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't think he'll reach his absolute ceiling because, like you said, Jarrell, it's very, very high.
Very high.
I
At
mean,
least for me.
I've heard better than Paul George is what I have heard
Listen.
at one point. And
But at
that
the
was
time-
now again ceiling though. That doesn't mean that you're gonna get there. But
Yeah, at the
I
time.
wouldn't be super upset if he doesn't necessarily reach his tippy top ceiling.
Right.
Can we get
To the third
get
floor?
mid cam? Yes, that's to the third
Can we get to the
floor.
third floor?
Right.
Yeah. I get it.
Because that
Look.
player is still a damn good player.
Right.
Is
You
it
know?
I
mid
mean,
cam right now? What we've seen so far in the league isn't this mid cam?
No.
I think this
and
is
that's the
floor
thing.
cam.
That's the thing. That's the
It's
thing.
still floor.
Queen. He had his chance in Atlanta. He never took advantage of it. So
Oh, he
for us to
looked-
talk about it's mid cam and that cam, we haven't seen no cam. Probably one or two games where he put up about 40 points in one of the other sometime last year because of injuries or garbage time. Like come on now. We haven't seen this kid. Brogdon numbers, as Queen just said. Not finding a way to stay on the floor.
Right.
So I'm not gonna go all out for this kid like how you want to do bowling chick. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing
but
that.
look,
I gotta see some type of improvement this year for me to say, okay, you know what? I'm not trading him at the trading deadline, and I'm gonna pay this kid at least probably 10 to probably 14 million a year or something like that. I'm just throwing out a number,
yeah.
right, for his potential. But I just don't see it.
I agree that we still need to see it. I'm not saying we just, offer him the money right today, but I'm saying that as far as the games played, and I said this, I think the last time, or one of the last couple times I was on, last year was a fluke injury. He fell on his freaking shoulder and messed that up. The year before that, he had an ACL injury. Those two things are things you can prepare for. It's not like that's a I want to use a football reference so bad, but it's not like it's not a prehab injury or anything like that you couldn't like prepare for and kind of build your strength up. Maybe the ankle injury he had. I mean, I did name 3, so I get y'all's point. He's been out quite a bit, but the ACL and the shoulder injury were fluky. That's all I'm saying. And then, if Tibbs gave him a little bit more of a shot before the shoulder, we might be talking a little bit differently. I liked how he was playing for Atlanta towards the end of December before the trade happened. I thought he was starting to show out a little bit, but we'll see. We have to see it happen. I agree with y'all.
I'm getting roast in the chat by showing, but that I just don't see it, bro. I just don't see it. Sometimes I gotta see with the eyes, man. And for the past 4 or 5 seasons, I have seen probably just a glimpse. Let's say out of 100 games, I've probably seen about 10 probably good games out of him within the 5 seasons. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I gotta see first.
The more a player has been in the league, the less confident I become in them becoming that guy.
Right.
Some play and I get it. People develop at different. They take different paths. It takes different time. Some guys you can see it right, like Donovan Mitchell. You saw it right from his rookie year. It doesn't work that way for everybody. I get it. But what's the year for you where you're like, you know what? There's a chance a person could become a star after any year, right? I'm trying to think of somebody who bloomed late. Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, right? There's a chance that somebody can bloom 6-7 years into the league. It's possible. But for you, how many years before you would say he might go on to be a star, but I've seen enough, I've seen enough. I'm ready to move on now. If he becomes a star, because for Atlanta, apparently it was 3 years. For Atlanta, it was 3 years.
Now, didn't Atlanta say that they only traded him because he demanded a trade?
But why
they wanted to keep him? He wanted more minutes. He thought he wasn't going to get a shot. He said he had DeAndre Hunter in front of him. He had
But why was DeAndre Hunter in front
Bogdanovich?
of him?
I mean, he was another really good player. He's a better defender, more
exactly.
versatile.
Exactly. You said the key word right there.
Exactly. I'm talking about that. I want Cam to have. He shouldn't care who was.
He can play with him, but I agree.
Exactly. So
mentality
all
has
this
changed,
nonsense, but he was fighting Hunter and all of that. It doesn't make any sense showing. If he was better than Hunter, Coach McMillan would have played him more than Hunter. It's just Hunter was a better versatile player, played defense, and I think he could hit the 3. Right?
Yeah, he's good when he's healthy. He's just as injury prone as Cam.
And then he's more active.
They're the same.
Cam is with this nice saga. Well, let me not say that. Like this low key, chilling. Like, yo, come on, man! You gotta have some type of fire in you, bro. This laid back attitude that you got is not gonna make it, bro. You know what I mean? You gotta have some type of energy.
Imagine wanting to be traded because of DeAndre Hunter, though. Nah,
it's in front of me. Get me out
no
of here.
way.
Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Showing, man. Come on, man.
Because Hunter is in front of me. That tells you everything you need to know.
Right. Exactly.
There.
That's my problem with
Cam.
Cam.
Hunter, because
I feel you.
Cam's talent. Look at his talent. If he would have came in there like Stafford said, or a blaze,
right,
he would have got
give a damn about no DeAndre Hunter.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, stop making excuses for this kid.
No, I want to make more
people
excuses
making excuses for the kid. No, stop.
Y'all
roast my guy Randall. Y'all roast him. Just now you was talking about trading him just now. No, I'm not gonna have that. If we're gonna be fair, let's split it down the middle.
Because at least Randall.
You understand what I'm saying?
At least Randall won it, right? That's why. Yeah,
Come
I get
on,
it.
man. We gotta at least split it down the middle.
I get it.
I
You
will
know,
say some
Hi.
players do put it all together a little later, and he could be one of those guys. The issue for the Knicks is he's up for a contract this season. I would like to see him play, and then you have to move him at the trade deadline. If you feel like you're not going to re-sign him, you have to trade him at the deadline.
I'm fine with that.
You
And
have
under those circumstances, yeah.
because you don't want to lose him for he'll be restricted free agency, a restricted free agent. But if he gets a hefty contract and you don't match it, you've lost him for nothing. You know?
Even if you want to say Bogdanovich was starting before him, Bogdanovich was still hitting shots, still playing defense, and still made the starting lineup. So what are you saying?
I agree he has to put it together.
Yeah.
But he needs to show up.
Stafford, let me ask you this. If that trade goes through and Cam is not in the trade, would you like to see him up until the trade deadline, or would you rather flip him for another player?
I would. Flipping for another player.
You
or
already
have him play up to the trade deadline.
Why is this a tough question for you? You don't like him. You made it. You outlined everything.
No, I didn't say I didn't like him. I didn't say that. I said he just needs to be consistent and me right. Okay, so flipping him. I think I would want to. Well, yeah, because we wouldn't have no wings, and he would be the only wing. So I probably would like to see.
He would be the only wing on the roster, but
right.
Play the wing.
Right. So yeah, I would like to probably see him up to the trading deadline, and then if I don't see any improvement and he's still with that laziness, then yeah, go ahead and flip him at the trade deadline. Get somebody else.
That laziness, though.
Yeah, man.
You're accosting my guy. You're accosting my guy.
Listen, y'all telling me about my boy Randall got attitude and he need to change this. He need to come with better energy. He need to come with better energy.
Right.
Cam would help somebody off the floor if they fell in front of him. Just saying.
Oh,
but
Lord,
I got
come
you.
on.
He would do that.
It's a different thing.
He would definitely do that.
What you get for that?
My God. He would high five us only at the foul line, you know. But nah. I'm just ripping you back.
How many points you get for that?
Right.
It's not like we don't want Randall to do that, but just because you do it, that don't mean you good though.
Right.
No, I get you. You know, but as I said, you gotta split it down the middle, be fair.
Right.
Go ahead, Queen.
Panagiotopoulos.
We're gonna get it one day.
I think you got that.
We're gonna get it. Right. We definitely gonna get that one day. I like
give
that.
Cam a shot, but he's got to run with
Panagiotopoulos.
Yeah. What do you say?
Panagiotopoulos.
Panagiotopoulos.
So.
Yes.
All right now.
Would you have said yes either way?
Yes, whatever you said. You're right. Salute to him. Salute to my guy Pete, yo. Salute to him.
I think everybody would like to see him up, probably up to the trading deadline if he, if he really, stands out. And that way we probably, as I said before, we could probably sign him to between a $10 and $12 million deal.
Who said it right?
Probably he's getting 6 right now.
He said we all did? I don't think we all said the same thing.
No, I said it different. American, you just
see what that means? That means he get a mess. People mess his name up. People mess his name up so much. All y'all right. I guarantee you, everybody messes his name up.
I used to hear it too, so I feel that.
I said it the best.
Oh, see, I was wrong. Loud and wrong.
Okay, that's what's up.
I'll accept responsibility, unlike another player on the New York.
When it comes to Cam,
Nancy Panache.
when it comes to
Panagio
Cam, even though
topless.
I said I wasn't, overly confident of him reaching his ceiling, I still want him to see. If he does, I would love to be
If
proven
he does
wrong.
that, it raises our ceiling.
Exactly, I would love to be
Exactly.
proven wrong.
Right.
I
If
hope
Right.
Cam go out there and be an all-star next year. Like, if
Right.
it was up to him, yeah, I would love that.
Even
Like
be
you said,
even be a 6-man if
something
that's the case. You
right.
know what I mean?
If Cam goes out there and plays, stays healthy, and actually has a good season, I'm all for it.
I
Oh,
want him to so bad, but I'm afraid to buy that boy's jersey. I got this close and I was like, they're gonna trade him. Don't
Here
do
you
it.
go.
Don't
He
do
been
it.
attacking me. He been attacking me all through the chat. I'm not going to even answer him. I've been ignoring him all the time. I'm gonna still ignore you, bro.
I didn't even see it. I need to go look now.
Anything else before we going on 3 hours?
Right.
Now, it's been a good show, man. Good topics, man.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely. We are definitely in the barbecue portion of the
Right.
I really love that.
But we don't want it to burn too much, though.
right.
Right. Sometimes you guys it's time to take them dogs off the grill.
Right.
Oh, right.
Like I like a little burnt on them, but not totally.
So if he's playing good, why we trade? No, it's not that we would trade him, but that'll give the Knicks an opportunity to decide whether or not they're going to pay him, because he can be playing well and they still decide that not well enough for us to pay him.
Right.
And they may offer him a contract and he may say, nah, I think I could get more than that in restricted free agency.
And plus,
like Jalen did.
What if he wants to start?
Right.
And he probably does.
Like as long as RJ is here, he's not going to start over him.
Right.
I'm talking about if we get Donovan Mitchell and Reddish is still here, like he's not going to start.
Right.
We need someone to pray over his bones, and so he can play.
No, you sound like grandma now. Pray over his bones.
In Jesus' name.
Right.
We cast out the infirmities. Anyway.
Right. I think if he stays healthy, I think Cam will be fine. He just has to play.
If Cam reaches if Cam and Randall, if Cam reaches his ceiling,
5'6",
and Randall,
say 5'6", say 5'6",
and we 5'6".
Okay.
You know,
nah, we 4.
A lot has to happen.
Nice.
That's a lot that has to happen.
But that's all. That's what the stuff that I was talking about.
A lot. Or RJ takes what's the next step? Like we say, RJ takes the next step. What does that look like? What does the next step look like?
To me, it's just efficiency and being a better defender. It's not like averaging 20-something. It's not just taking all the shots. He just has to be a better playmaker, more efficient, play better defense. RJ will be fine. I'm not worried about RJ.
Okay. So
go ahead, bowling chick. I know you're the number one.
Yeah, she gonna say all-star. You gonna say all-star?
So it's gonna vary depending upon who's on the team.
Okay.
If Donovan's on the team, my number for RJ's scoring is gonna be lower. But I was saying earlier, I think he could average 25, 26 points.
Wow.
I think he
26.
I think he could do that.
Damn.
Free throw. He gotta make some free throws though.
6 of them,
right?
That's
Y'all said the jump.
That's a jump. He leapfrogging
Y'all
the hell
said
out of 26
efficiency would have to be right because Brunson is
and
on that's going to be less.
Correct.
So
right.
True. And so so I would say maybe 26. We'll go with 24 points. I'll lower it a little bit. One basket less for the couple missed free throws he might have. 24 points. I think you could. Again, this is without Donovan for me. These numbers. But I would say I'd like to see him to continue handling the ball as well as he has and playmaking. He's looked good doing that. I want that to continue, maybe 4 assists a game. Again, that might be a little high depending on Randall and all this other stuff. But I would say 24, 4, and maybe 4 to 5 rebounds because I think he can do it.
Oh, he's averaging more than that now, right? Rebound wise, I think he's 4.85 rebounds, 6 rebounds.
I was trying to get my boy stats over my computer mad slow.
He might be 6.
But the efficiency is definitely key. Let's say I would like to see his free throw percentage, for example, needs to go up to like 73, 74%. I think that's not even asking for a lot.
Right.
Most great players are able to do that. I think RJ just needs to get in the freaking gym. Free throw what? Go ahead.
I'm gonna let Hard Wills answer the question for me because everything he said is facts. So Hard Will, what's RJ ceiling? Where is he going to? Right? Because you know you're third-year player. So I'm gonna let you answer that. So that's I'm not gonna comment on it.
I agree with Jarrell. I don't really see a number on it because I wasn't scoring 20 points. Anybody can score 20 points if you take enough shots.
That's true.
So for me, it's more about efficiency. That's the next. Well, no. Well, I guess that's part of efficiency. I want to see RJ. This is where I feel he's taking the next step. He gets to the rim at will. I need to see him finish at a good percentage for his position. So that's how I know he's taking the next step. He's doing the same thing he's been doing in terms of getting to the rim, but he's finishing. The next step is being adequate at the free throw line, 75%. You're not going to be a star in this league shooting 72% from the line because all they're going to do is foul you down the stretch. I mean, I guess 70% is not foulable, but I'm not comfortable, with him shooting under 70%. So finishing at the rim is the next step. Free throw shooting is the next step. Getting better defensively is the next step. If you can do that, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, let me just say this too. I agree with everything that you said, Queen, and Jarrell and Bowling Chick. He has to the free throws, the finishing at the rim, and be more efficient from the 3-point line. Those and his defense, even though his defense was subpar, it could be much better. But also too, we have to see a right hand. I know some people say there's been seen highlights of him working on his right hand, whatnot, but I haven't seen it. I would love to see it in the preseason. That's another thing too. I would like to see him
that got better
go more right.
I thought he was going right in the second. He may not have been finishing great, but I was really surprised with how he was going. He was going right, and he looked pretty good doing it.
Yep, that was part of his.
I need to see more of it.
He needs to continue it. That's fair.
Yeah, I need to see consistency. And and that's all I'm gonna say about RJ, man. I think he's the future of the Knicks.
Yes,
yes, it's mid-range, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't even
have a mid-range game
all the way to the rim.
If RJ had a mid-range game, his game completely opens up. He'd be unguardable.
Yeah.
If he had a mid-range.
That's the same with Obi too. Obi get that mid-range game too. I think if Obi gets a
consistent 3-point shot, he's going to be difficult to guard. But he has to hit the 3-point shot in order for him to be effective. Yes,
that's going to open up the driving lanes.
Right, exactly.
Close out hard on him, and that will open it up for him to be able to put the football.
Exactly.
Honestly, real quick, I just looked at his regular season stats. My computer finally did what it needed to do. It is the efficiency. Now, if you go back to last year when Randall was balling out and everything, he had 44% field goal range and he had 40% from 3. If he could just replicate that, his free throw percentage was 75%. If he could, it's that efficient. I know it's the bubble. Yeah, I know.
Everybody say about Randall. Oh, nobody was in the stands, but when it comes to RJ, he shot 44%. Now that was
same
season. People in the stands.
Same season.
But I feel like that efficiency he can definitely bring in here. I mean, it was his best season, but as far as efficiency, but I think that's replicable. He averaged 6 rebounds, 3 assists then. So that and maybe a little bit better efficiency there. 46%, 40% from 3. That's a baller right there.
Yeah, I will have to agree with old head in the chat too.
He shoot that.
He said he should study. Old head in the chat say he should study DeRozan, and I do think at one time he did mention if he would love to work out with DeRosa and
That was his
patting
idol growing up.
He said it on the Reddish
that mid.
podcast.
Right. Okay.
That
He
was
said
idol
it
growing
to
up.
Good
DeRozan.
memory.
I
You have a
like that
good
podcast
memory.
a lot. Oh, anyway, thank you. But DeRozan, he said it to DeRozan apparently in the game. I want to. I would like to. I would like to practice with you. So I was wondering if something like that might happen in this offseason because he seemed pretty serious and he announced it to everybody publicly. So
A lot of people forget DeRozan what he was
his
to
footwork.
Toronto.
Yeah, no doubt.
So RJ grew up in Toronto, so DeMar DeRozan was huge
True.
growing up. Like he looked up to him. Like that was not their Michael Jordan, but DeMar DeRozan was the man in Toronto when RJ was little.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because he was so young, he didn't get to see Vince Carter at his peak.
Right, or Tracy McGrady or something. Like he didn't care about. Like he wasn't watching basketball then.
Was he alive?
Nah, not with Tracy McGrady. Nah. I don't think so.
RJ's a baby.
JJ, that's how I see. This is how I see RJ, and I've said this before on a championship team.
Mm-hmm.
That in that Wiggins role, I don't see, and I don't see it. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I don't see him being a number one on the championship team. But you need guys like RJ on any championship team. Somebody that's willing to defend, somebody that can go downhill, somebody that can play make, somebody that can bring the ball up the court. You need that. So that's on the high end, Butler,
right?
Low end, Wiggins type. Even though I think RJ is a better playmaker than Wiggins. Wiggins is a better defender than RJ, at least at this time.
Right. Like he doesn't have to be Michael Jordan, but if he could be Scottie Pippen, we good.
Scottie.
He's not going to be Michael Jordan. He's not that type of player. But if he can be all around efficient and play defense, RJ he's going to be really, really good.
And dunk on people because Pippen used to dunk on people. Nasty.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Play defense. You got to get the defense up.
Nasty.
I think that's major for RJ next season. Got to play defense.
I mean, I think he was just getting taken by all the superstars. When in the second year, he didn't have to necessarily play against the best. He didn't have to defend the best player. That was Bullock's job. So I wonder if that played a role there. I mean, and he was starting to take on more of the scoring load, So I thought that was why his defense suffered, but we still want better for him. So that's something that I wholly agree with you on that. He needs to work on.
When I seen the 8,
they still here.
Exactly. Yeah. And if we were to get Brunson, go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was just to say when I seen the 8th-year play and the 3rd-year play on Slam magazine, I thought we was gonna take off the roof. I thought we was. I thought we was there. But. I guess circumstances happen with this whole COVID thing, and it was just a bad season last year, man.
Right, that was good.
But I do
magazine. Magazine got that's what it was.
But I do think back to the original question of the night. I do think Brunson could elevate this team,
right?
As we were saying last night, in my opinion, to a floor 10, but 7th seed ceiling, and that's without Donovan Mitchell.
That too.
Yeah, you didn't get your floor and ceiling. What's your floor and ceiling?
Without
Donovan.
Okay.
And with Donovan.
I think that. Okay, so my floor would be maybe the 9 seed, 8, 9, right there.
Okay.
I think the Knicks can be as high as the 6 seed.
Wow.
Without Donovan. Everything's got to break right. Y'all already know how much faith I have in RJ, so there's that.
She with us. We got 3 now. We got 3. We got 3 the hard way.
You said 5. Yes, you did.
We said 5.
You didn't say 6.
I had a slash.
And then you said if everything go right, you will go 4. I heard you, Dre. Don't.
No, that was with Donovan Mitchell. If everything.
He said without Donovan 5, and then he said with Donovan 4.
I had to go up. That's just law of averages. Like I had to go.
No, but don't say
I had
6.
to hit that.
Don't put bowling chick into your crew.
Yeah, you
She
right.
said 6.
I'm gonna let her finish.
Let her
You
stick
right.
with her
I'm
6.
let
You
her
stick
finish.
with your 5, bro.
I had to get us, man. Like me and Tone by ourselves, dog.
5.5. That's the closest.
5.5.
5.5. No, but look, I'd be willing to go on the branch with y'all. The branch getting pretty thin. You know, there's 3 of us on that's normally that's a lot of weight on the branch.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is ceiling, right?
Yes.
So 5, 6,
What
I
would
think
have
makes
to break
sense.
right for you to reach that ceiling?
Randall has the return
Everything.
to 2020.
Everything.
To 2021. To the COVID season. We'll just put it like that. He returns to that form. That opens the floor for everybody. RJ's going to be, you know, back to that. He's going to be at least a 40% 3-point shooter. I'm speaking that into existence.
Oh, 40%. He a sniper.
Yeah, he a sniper now. Look at my guy. Anyway.
The love for the golden child.
He did it before. He did it before. So anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is ceiling. That's what I guarantee. I mean, I gamble, but I wouldn't gamble on that. But anyway, so that's why I can see it. I can see 5, 6, but 8, 9 for the floor. Now with Donovan,
see, you got to go up.
I want to hear this one.
You got to go.
I want to hear this one.
That's what I'm saying. It forces you to go up if Donovan Mitchell is on the team. If you gave him 5, 6 before. You have to.
Now, why would they do that? Let me stop. That was my Windhurst impression. It was bad. Anyway, I think I agree with 4. I'm scared to go to 3. I'm looking at 3.
Now listen,
I'm eyeballing 3. I looked at the teams. I looked at the teams yesterday.
Now you want another branch. Yeah, I say all that.
That means
the optimist.
Those top 4, the Knicks are gonna finish ahead of Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. That in order to be in the top 4, it could be any other team. I'm just saying for last year, those were the 4. Chicago might even get in there. Who knows? That the Knicks would beat out one of those teams. Wow.
Fiery hot take.
Okay.
Miami doesn't stay 1 to 3. I can see them moving, and that's only if they get Durant. Now, if they don't get Durant, excuse me, or Donovan. Now, if they get either of those players, that's not a ceiling situation. That's different. That's not fair to me.
Right.
But if they don't, I mean, does Oladipo start over Kyle Lowry? Like, they have a couple of question marks. 1 year older for Butler. Yeah. They were injury prone last year, so the injuries might kind of even out this year. Tucker's gone. Thank you. Bam is a baller, and I like him a lot. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how much more offense they're going to really give him. I don't know. Miami, I think, reached their ceiling last year. I thought that was their opportunity. But again, they get Durant, different situation. If they unfortunately get Donovan, very different situation. That's why they're trying to make a move right now, because they know that. Again, my opinion, hot take, whatever.
Right.
All right. So 4 to what?
4.
4 to 4? No, I didn't.
4 to 4.
Okay, I'm playing too much. I'm sorry. 4 to 6. If things break really bad.
Listen.
Well, so maybe 7.
People are saying that with Donovan, we're not a championship contender. And I agree. I still think we're going to need more. But you're saying 4 to 6. Well, you said 7.
I'm bringing it to 7 because
everything has to
everything bad, right?
But you know what, Staffer, and even for the chat, it's true. If everything breaks right, if we get second team, because I remember when Randall was second team All NBA, I was like, oh, we only need one more. We got one. Right. All we need is one more, you know, to have 2 stars on this team. But the chances of Randall being that again,
we don't know. Question mark. Everything is a question mark right now, yo. The whole team with chemistry is a question mark.
We got a hand of low spades right now.
Yeah, definitely smash that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel.
Great show.
Yeah, I mean, you guys bring it too. I can't do it by myself. I don't think I would be here. I don't think they would be listening to me for almost 3 hours. I could tell you that.
That's a long
Was this the
monologue.
longest? Was this the longest we ever went on Queen's Court?
Close.
Well, Dope Soul, I should say.
I don't think so. We
We got
240 now.
we got
We've done
almost to 3
three.
one time. I think.
Yeah.
I think we did, and we did that talking to with a team full of low spades.
See, I like that you like my quote. Yes,
Right.
that's
Whole
what
bunch
we
of
got. We
70
got a
clubs, and
handful
we
of
talked.
stuff.
Whole bunch of
But we
70
might
clubs,
take
and we
some
talked about it for
books.
3 hours.
Yeah. But we might take some books. Let's go.
Yeah, I think we get 40 wins. I think we get 40 wins. I mean,
40?
I
Yeah.
think Charlotte is going to be hurting.
Mhm.
Yeah,
For
without
sure.
with
Without
Bridges,
Miles,
Be hurt, yeah.
they need that kid. They need him.
and then they
And all
brought in a new coach, which is the old coach.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's weird, man.
we'll see what happened. Shout out to JD Sports Talk. Big up
Yeah,
yourself,
shout
you.
out to
I miss you,
JD.
JD.
He was on the other day. I was very excited.
Yeah,
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
he had some crazy takes the other day on the other show.
He brought the fire.
Boy, JD,
Oh,
I don't know, JD. But salute to JD though. Oh, and let me just shout out Ron Still Nick fans. Congratulations on your one win tonight. The rest of the nights is gonna be the Yankees, okay?
Oh, I was like,
Yeah, I was sitting here watching it the whole time, pissed off. I didn't want to say nothing.
Bro, you didn't see me raise no type of gestures like
I was mad as hell over here. You know I'm
I
good at
was
this.
too, but
You
you
only
know,
know I was watching.
Wow.
I
I'm
forgot
up there
about
watching us
baseball.
lose to the Mets, man.
yeah, but shout out to Ron Still Nick fans, big Met fan. Congratulations on your one win tonight.
Right, you won.
So, just in terms of where you can find me tomorrow, I'm on Nothing But Knicks with Tony Crowe doing a crossover. And Thursday, I'm back here on Dope Soul Sports Talk for a special. I have some content creators coming in. Hard Will will be there. God Up Knicks will be there. Ron from Still Nick Fans will be there. Sim from Nothing But Knicks. Tony Crowe from Knicks and Bruises. And Eru from Die Hard Knicks Podcast. And we're going to talk
Nice.
about basically, are the Nick podcasters the new ESPN? And just really talking about whether or
Love
not
that.
what we do as content creators in terms of what we provide for the fans, do you really need to look to the national media or even the beat reporters to cover the Knicks? In my opinion, I think the content creators do it just as well. I do think that in terms of the rumors, in terms of potential trades, I don't think we're as plugged in
Right.
for
Nah.
that, in my opinion. But once it drops, head on over to YouTube, put in New York Knicks,
Right.
and trust me, it will be covered from every single angle. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk a bit about that, and for the chat, I'm interested. Where do you get your news? Do you come straight to the Nick YouTubers, the Nick content creators? Do you still look to ESPN? Once I found this community, I think it was about a year ago,
It was over.
over a year
Me
ago.
too.
It was
I
over.
don't even.
Me
I
too.
don't even.
It was over.
I don't look at
ESPN.
ESPN. I
Could
think.
I just get a go
Mhm.
ahead, Sween. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think the storylines are old and stale when it comes to the Knicks. Even when I watch them on ESPN, they talking about storylines that's expired, is old, unless Doris Burke is doing it, or what's his name?
Clive.
Not
Clyde.
Clyde. Usually on ESPN, Mike Breen.
Oh,
Then the
Mike Breen.
storylines
Okay.
are they know what's going on. But and even when it comes to print media, other than the Athletic, I'm at Posting and Toasting and all of those other outlets to get my news for the Knicks. So we'll talk
Right.
about that, especially in light of the heat the Knicks took for not allowing mainstream media
Oh,
um,
please. They better get over it.
the into the press conference. So that show is tomorrow, 9 o'clock, right here on Dope Soul Sports Talk. Subscribe, hit that notification button. You'll be notified when we go live. It's going to be a
Mhm.
dope panel. It's
There's
going to
some
be a
good
dope
people on
show.
there tomorrow.
And I think this is just part of me on this channel. I do want to do sports talk, but I do want to cover things that's related to sports, but might be a little outside, as ESPN had their series Outside the Lines, a little bit outside of the line. So that's tomorrow.
Nothing but Knicks outside
That's
the lines.
Thursday. That's Thursday, 9:30. After the NBA report, Ron and John from Still Knicks Fans do the NBA report on Nothing But Knicks. So I'll be on this channel after that.
Nice.
That
Any
is
last
awesome.
words? Yeah.
So
I'm
Queen, I just want to mention
Yes.
for your show tomorrow.
Yes.
From the time I heard Sim, and then you had Nick Fan TV, and then you had Macquarie, I kind of stopped listening to the whole ESPN, especially how they used to slander the Knicks.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Stephen A. Smiths, the
Max
you said
Kellerman.
his name, Max Kellerman. Then you got Perkins, and you got RJ. And it was just kind of, I just got fed up with it. But then when you hear the real content from these guys that put it out, they go to the games, they show you what's going on. They bring you exclusives. You know what I mean? And it's a good thing. And I do feel like we are the new what's
media,
the word that you said? The new media.
Yes, new
Right.
media.
I do feel that we the new media, and we doing a damn good job doing it, because if you look at it, it got other cities that's even trying to have a Chicago channel, a Utah channel, this channel or that channel. You know what I mean? Because of us, because we New Yorkers, we love our basketball, and we're very smart when it comes to basketball. You know what I mean? So salute to all the content Nick creators as far as Knicks.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all are doing a fantastic job. And even some of the people that you didn't mention.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Locked On Nick podcast. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, even JD also too. JD gives good takes also too.
I was watching Knicks Brazil the other day.
Wow.
They speak the language and they cover us. Like, even was on their podcast one time with a translator. Like, they even touch on the Knicks, and they're in Brazil. Look at Andy; he's all the way in Poland.
Right.
He has a show on MBK, International Andy. So salute to him. So him being all the way from Poland, and he's still, giving us insight on overseas players and stuff. That's huge.
Right. And the thing about it is different takes. It could be the same subject.
Right.
Randall acting out. It 50 shows on it, and it's going to be different takes. And it allows you, for me, I became smart. I think my takes evolve being on panels and listening to other people's take. You were like, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that.
That's what
or
people do.
In the chat, they'll drop their comments too. And I do read the chats in the comment. I'll be like, you know what? I never even thought about it like that. And your takes evolve over time. And what I like about this community is the takes are nuanced for the most part. It's not these lazy takes. It's like they don't even have enough time. And the national media, because they're covering so much, they can't really get in depth.
Right.
You're like, that's what you came up with? I was
about to say, you have to just realize that all the sports channels, ESPN, Fox Sports, they all are like running.
Streets are buzzing. Yes.
Him too. They all have engines behind them and producers telling them what to say and how to do shows and stuff.
Right.
Yep.
People like Sim, yourself, Steph, all the content creators, you don't have somebody telling you what to say or telling you what to do, how your show is supposed to be.
Right.
Like Stephen A. Smith is not the producer of First Take.
Right.
He is the talent on First Take.
Right.
Sometimes the stuff that he's saying, he don't even want to say sometimes. He just has to say it. Like, that's his job. He works for ESPN.
Right. That's true. That is true. That's true. And also Knicks Real. I mean, we can go on and on. Knicks Real Talk with Divine.
Right.
We can go on and on. Blanche Tears. They get me through work. And they doing now every time I
big
turn
up Uncle Freezy.
Freezy, man.
I'm surprised you ain't got Freezy on the panel.
He couldn't make it. He couldn't make it.
I'm about to say.
Okay.
He probably got
to get everybody. I love it.
I cast a wide.
You ain't gonna get Freezy because he's probably gonna be on.
Be on at that time, right?
That's what I'm saying. He probably gonna be on. Freezy, the only person I know that got a show going on all afternoon, and then it's all night also, and he's on both of them. And he got a job, and he got a family, and all that. So,
Yeah.
They put in work.
Yeah, these Nikon content creators, they work very hard, and then to maintain a family too. I got to salute to them, man.
Yeah.
Big
And
things, big things.
it's for the love. You know, you do it because you just love it. And one thing about this fan base, we always another channel pop up, you'd be like, I don't know. Even when I did my channel, I'm like, I don't really know if people gonna show up. There's so many of them.
Right.
I don't care what time you put on my show.
It's after midnight. We got 100 people watching now. Salute to everybody watching.
Yeah, salute. Definitely, I appreciate you.
Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
So like it's after midnight. We still got like 100 people watching. So
right.
Yeah,
and we've been on for 3 hours.
And this is the off season as
and
well.
This is the
it's the off season. Ain't nothing happened today.
Right. That's true.
I've been in football mode all day. Y'all brought me back to the Knicks.
We're gonna have a football conversation.
Training camp. Well, that was the question I had.
What's your team? What's your team on football? I'm sorry.
I'm a Jets fan.
Oh,
no,
oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, y'all both Jets fans.
Oh yes. Yes.
I don't know.
If Wilson is going to make the next step.
Come on.
Yes,
did
I
you see
did.
Makai
I
today?
did.
Makai was in beautiful shape.
Really?
Beautiful shape.
What shape? Was he an oval or was he a cylinder?
No.
Because
But you know what? He's off the pup.
Okay.
He's off the pup list. He's gonna be practicing tomorrow. He looked
We
great.
gonna
He
s-
shut up everybody on Jets.
No,
Twitter.
let's see if Daniel Jones could be healthy.
See, don't do that.
All
Staf.
these
We're on
Giant
the
fans
Jets right
talking
now.
all of this talk.
Staf, we're
Let's
on the
see if he
Jets
could
right
be
now.
healthy.
We're talking about the Jets.
See, I'm not even gonna come after Giants fans. See, I'm not like that. I wasn't raised that way.
No, I'm
Most
gonna
New
go
York-
after them. I'm gonna go after the juggler.
Don't do that, man.
I hear you.
Why Daniel Jones hasn't been that successful. So
It's not coaching.
Okay, then. Even the Queen got questions.
Hour, man. You better
I'm a Giants fan, but
say you
I
gonna be on here for another hour.
was never with that Daniel Jones pick. Was from the beginning.
See, we about to get into something that's not his.
And when
real
we
quick.
get an opportunity to draft a generational or potential generational quarterback, we're like, nah, we gonna get a linebacker or somebody because we already got a quarterback. You don't pass on those type of quarterbacks, in my opinion. I don't care who you got.
Staf.
You mad for real, and I feel you. I feel you.
The evil
We
person.
drafted.
The evil person that was our general manager is no longer here.
He said like he
And
did.
we have a new.
Six.
We have a new
Drafted
GM.
Daniel Jones.
No, forget Daniel Jones. We drafted Saquon Barkley at 2.
At 2.
That was way worse than drafting Daniel Jones at 6 because at least he's a quarterback. But that's another conversation. We're gonna be here for another hour.
Yeah, that's true.
We
All
will.
right.
Get me upset because I
I have a
hate
lot of
David
football to get out.
We gonna hurt Jarrell's feelings
Yeah,
right now.
man.
You
You
know?
talk about David Gettleman and
Quick
stuff.
but serious question about this
Scratch it.
channel. Are you going to eventually do football, or is it just going to mostly stay
I'm not gonna do
on basketball?
football, but I was
Okay.
talking. I don't know if Jarrell, but we were talking about. Jarrell was talking about something. I guess when he's ready, he'll let you.
We'll see.
He will let you.
Jarrell,
Football season starts soon. Let's just
Tweet
Listen.
me.
okay.
No. I
DM
will
me.
tweet you personally, and both of us will be on the show together.
Just so I
with
can
him.
have Jets representation.
Yes.
It's gonna be
So
a
don't worry, Bowling I got you. I got you.
Giant Jet show, or is it gonna be a Giant show?
I don't know.
It's
Why
gonna
can't
be
we
a
do both?
Giant show,
I
but
want
it might,
harmony.
See.
it ain't no harmony in this.
all right.
You live in New
Green
York.
versus
You know what harmony
green versus blue. No,
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know what harmony is. What are you talking about?
We'll see.
Boys
I'm
demand
sorry.
East Coast family. That harmony, no, ain't no sports harmony here, bro. Like no. No.
I don't like the Giants, but I don't hate the Giants.
Yeah, I don't hate the Jets either. I'm just making
See?
fun. Like, we're not rivals. We're just
No, we
I
know a whole
hear you.
different conference.
It's
It'll
just
be a
the
good
Jets
day
is
if
the
we had
bigger
a couple
brother.
of-
That's all. The Jets is the big brother. That's all. And the
see, you
Giants.
saying that.
See, I don't
You
like
saying
when
that
I
to
hear
make
that.
me angry. Stop. That's the only reason you said that.
Oh, you said the Jets were? I misheard you. Never
Yeah,
mind.
he said the Jets were the big brother. You know what I'm saying?
My ear turned to what I've heard for years, so I got mad, and I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, show 3 hours.
Yeah.
All
Go ahead,
Everybody in
Queen.
chat,
Finish
man.
up, Queen.
Yeah,
Finish up.
no. That's it. Any last words? We
Nah, man.
It's a blessing to be on the show. You already know.
definitely
Go ahead, hit those like buttons.
Definitely hit
Subscribe to the channel. We here every Tuesday night, at 9 o'clock. Monday nights at 8 o'clock. We always have dope shows, different people on the panel. Y'all gonna enjoy yourself. Come through, people. Come through and support. Support. Like, share. Subscribe. Peace out. Love y'all.
Everything he said is after
I
midnight.
know, right? I don't know what to say now.
After midnight, everything he said, press enter.
We out of here.